This your boy Dwayne. Hey, listen, this is Black Men Unfiltered. Hey, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. Everybody else say Happy Holiday. And we're gonna be. I mean, we'll come in tonight. Cooking with Kingz gonna come in tonight. I'm gonna talk for a little bit. I'm gonna have some other fellas come in and say their piece. I won't hold them long tonight. This is a holiday. I want everybody to spend time with their families, and so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm grateful to have a few guys, like I said, come in tonight. And let's do this. And like my boy Jedi Mike, I see he in the comments, but he got to get on this panel. He know that for a fact. Any guys that's watching right now, you want to get on the panel and discuss what's going on right now, let's get it in. Jedi Mike, I just put the link in the comments. So go ahead and mic up. I'm going to start. I'm going to put it at the very, very top. I'm going to put it at the very, very top of the chat. So you'll be able to see it at the top of the chat. Tonight, as you guys can see the thumbnail, we're not playing tonight. We're not, we may play a little bit, but we're going to talk about this DeVon Franklin situation because, a lot of people are putting it out there like DeVon is a simp. And DeVon, I'm sorry. He is he? Is he? Jedi might come on in this window. Come on in this room, Doc. But I think that a lot of people are looking at these celebrities as saviors, and we have to understand that these celebrities are not saviors. They're not saviors by a long shot. They're not saviors. A lot of people look up to them. A lot of people say, "I want me a DeVon." When Megan Good and DeVon Franklin got married, everybody wanted a piece of their life. Everybody wanted a piece of what they had. DeVon had her on YouTube, and he was praying over her. And he was laying hands on her and laying hands on other couples. And he was talking about, they wrote a book. The book was very, very, very successful. Book, #1 selling book, how they waited to have sex when they got married. And so, I see my boy Brian that came in the backstage. So Brian, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come on, brother. But they when you try to make somebody become something that they're not, that becomes the problem. That becomes the problem. Let's get Brian in here. Brian, what's going on, man?
Man, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. In here talking about how you doing, bro. Tell us how's it been for you this week and today and tomorrow. What you got going on?
Man, everything lovely, man. Everything lovely, man. Just got done shopping, dealing with the family and stuff. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. So y'all got some big plans tomorrow?
Hell no, man. My daughter, she went with her mother for the holiday. It's just me and my son.
Oh, okay.
I just sent off a lot of stuff to different families and stuff. I had to mail out a lot of stuff. So.
Okay, cool. So, man, what's your idea? Because I was just talking about this whole DeVon Franklin and Megan Good thing, man. Emmanuel, the link is already in the link is already there, man. One more chat, put it in again because I want you in here, especially you and Jedi Mike when y'all come on in here with me and Brian. But listen, we were talking about I was talking about this DeVon Franklin and Megan Good situation. What do you know about it so far, or do I need to catch you up on it?
Yeah, catch me up on it, man. I saw the divorce and everything, but what's the big hoopla about everything? Okay, so you knew before Megan got with him, she was for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was out there in the streets real bad. And so he a preacher, so he came along. He had a past too, but after he became a preacher, he straightened his life up, and he met Megan and wanted to be with Megan. And him and Megan started dating. He asked her to marry him. They got married. They've been married for 10 years, bro. And that's good.
Right, and he was married to her for 10 years, but all of a sudden, out the blue, he goes and files for a divorce. But he's not revealing to the public why he filed for the divorce. He said that he filed for the divorce, and then Megan came up and wrote this long Instagram post talking about how they never going to be apart, and how they're going to still love each other, and how they're going to still be for each other. But all of a sudden, this man divorcing Megan Good, and a lot of men, these simp dudes out here, because I think a lot of men give these women they put them up on a pedestal too much, bro. They put them up on. Megan is a beautiful girl. She's sexy. She's fine, but she ain't the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes out here right now saying, "Oh, how could he divorce her?" And listen, she was for the streets, and I did a live when it was. No, I didn't do a live. I posted a video the other day talk about this situation, and I said she's like an antique car. You know, he bought her. He tried to fix her up, but couldn't find the parts.
Wait. Did she do something? Like, what did she do?
He
been married.
Yeah, he will not say nothing. Well, let me tell you what she did. So, like I told you,
but what did she, like, for us to say she for the streets since she's been married? Like, what has she done since she's been married?
Well, before she got married, she was for the streets. Now, everybody said that he tried to clean her up and make her this old godly first lady for the church and all this, and that's not who she was, bro. And she stopped going to church, because people were judging what she wear. I mean, she was wearing some crazy stripper type stuff to church. You know what I'm saying? So she said she didn't want to go because people was judging her or whatever. But then she just did a TV show where she eating dudes' booties out and like just you know. And some of those things.
Yeah, but people grow, man. You know, sometimes, you know, there are people that break up on good terms. You know, like everything is not toxic when you break up with somebody. So just because he filed for divorce, even though you don't hear that a lot, that a man filed for divorce first. Sometimes, man, people grow apart, man. You know, it don't have to be like F you or you ain't this or you ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people just grow apart, man. And you know, I always my ex, me and her grew apart. You know, she started wanting to go her way and I wanted to go my way. I saw a different direction in life that I wanted to go in. So sometimes people do grow apart. But I don't see nothing wrong with it. Now, unless she did some whole stuff while they was together, I can totally understand.
Yeah. E-Man, welcome to the show, man. Good Friday to you, bro. Happy holidays to you and your family, man. What y'all got going on today, bro? I want to ask about you first before we get into what we got talking about. How's the wife and kids, and how are you?
Pretty good, man. We had a good day. You know, today's my birthday, so.
Oh, happy birthday! Why?
Thank you, appreciate it. We had a chance to hang out, chill, went to the mall. Really just chilled, you know, did the old family thing. I thought they was gonna want something from home, but they ain't asked me for nothing, so I ain't say nothing.
Jedi Mike, what's up, man? You been listening?
Oh yes, here we go.
So
I got that fresh cut with
no, I do.
Oh yeah. He's out, boy. He's like he'll go do a movie or something. So Jedi Mike, how are you, man? How's the family? How's everything going, bro?
I'm doing, man. I'm blessed, man. And I'm just saying, going to the end of this year, man, I just want to say to y'all, I just blessed I got to do you guys. You know, now I got extended family now. And I'm looking more to the future to all of you. But you guys just have been blessed in my life. Just the short time we've got to know each other and everything. But I'm just looking forward to the future, man. But yeah, wishing you all the best for your holidays, all of you.
Oh man, appreciate you, bro.
Black man, thank you, black man.
And you know, man, I just want to say to you, bro, I look at you guys like family too, man. E-Man is the uncle that everybody be running from at the picnic. You know, Jedi Mike is the one that's giving all the knowledge. Brian is the one everybody cussing out. You know, and I'm just the one everybody like, man, he don't need to be here. So I look at you guys as family too, man, and I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. So, but anyway, so what's your thoughts? I'm gonna start with E-Man because he came in first. E-Man, so what's your thought about the whole Megan Good and Frank? Do you think she did some things that wasn't right for him to go file a divorce?
No, I think people just started getting a problem with it. That's what it was, man. Church people's like, hey, man, we about to get rid of you, pastor, if you don't get rid of her. And that's what I really think it was, man. I truly, honestly don't think that he had any problem. He didn't have a problem with what was going on because he dealt with it for 10 years. Right. So I truthfully, honestly don't think that. I just think that as the church people start getting involved, you know, that's when the problems really start coming. And I think she kind of want to do some things in her career, and he just want to separate himself legally. I think he's gonna be messing around doing all that kind of stuff, man. You know how it is. It's just cleaning up the image. I really, to be honest, I only think they got married to sell the book, but you know,
exactly.
So I think it was just really like a marketing. I really think it was a marketing scheme. Say, hey, this is the way you're supposed to do the marriage. They made all that money together, and after they made that money together, it was a business transaction. He's going one way, she's going the other way. But you know, I think for a pastor to get with a woman like that, you know, he had to be already dibbling dabbling in that lifestyle before, you know, you can say whatever they want in the book. So.
Right. And I think, and I you know, me personally, like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about her, but I'm just saying, like, I really believe, bro, when you go, just say for instance, Emmanuel, your wife got hired. You know, you have a very beautiful family, very beautiful wife, and she got hired to do this big movie for Hollywood. And they told your wife one of the conditions is she has a scene with let's say Idris Elba, and she got to get in between the sheets. Idris gonna be naked on the bed. She got to get down and go toward his butthole. She ain't gonna really do it, but she got to be down in between his legs. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Come on.
Would you be okay?
I think he knew what he signed up for. When you're dating the actress, see that's the one thing that we can't put aside. Like when you dating an actor, you know 100% what that lifestyle is, man. You know, I think these actors sleeping around, all of them sleeping around for parts. You know what I'm saying? We know that that's not for a wife job is not to be an actor. We done seen the entanglements and all that kind of stuff in that acting world. So nah, man, he knew what he was signing up for 100%. So he had already signed up for that. So I feel like once you sign up for that, you gotta be willing to deal with all the stuff that comes with it. Because I believe he was
finally making sense, bro. This is the first time I agree with you, bro.
Yeah, I make sense every time, man. You just
no, but you made sense this time, man. I'm gonna give you that one. I gotta actually agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah. But you gotta remember why he's doing what he's doing. All right. So the reason he's doing what he's doing is because he understands that he's worth more money, and they're going into the court system. So seeing him going into the court system, he need to go ahead and be able to plead a case to be able to make sure he can keep some of those finances. He ain't really got nothing to do with what she's doing. He's just pleading his case so when he get in front of that judge, he can say, "Hey, I got this track record of her misbehaving. That's why we separate." I think it's all about money. If they can separate and it doesn't cost them nothing financially, I think you wouldn't hear nothing from him, in my opinion.
Here go Jedi Mike. Jedi Mike, what you got, baby? Come on with it.
Hold on. I got you.
Thank you. Yo, people been learning today. Like I see all the Peep Networks, folks got the notepads, Tamika, and got the glasses, everything. They're learning good. But listen, you can't speak holy and then sleep with the worldly. You know, you can't do that. Like as people, you know, saying everyone in the image we have, the wife is still the reflection of the man. There's no ifs and buts about it, especially in the position that he holds. I understand he got what he asked for, but to a certain point, you know, people won't believe in conformity. That's up to you. But you know, you have the saying she's the actress. I'm sorry, I don't give her that excuse. I'm sorry. At what point, you know, which you in terms of, you know, life is about choices and trade-off. You choose a man you think is edifying man, which we can say from the foresight, well, behind the scenes, whatever, you know, if the post is said what to be true, even though that's by a PR person. But you know, at this point, it's like you choose your career over. Then you can be playing things, doing being an actress, and not going up the dude's booty holes on the Amazon special. You know.
But I'm just saying, Jay. I think he had already agreed to that.
Are you really?
I'm just saying that agreement didn't come. That problem didn't come in that movie 6 months ago. I think they had this conversation 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But if he subscribed to that 9 years ago, he can't get mad today.
Exactly.
But listen, I'm saying you think it's enough. We think he had enough was enough. Because listen, he kept defending her after defending her, and I agree. I do believe that people are trying to come after her, but at a certain point, you gotta realize the image that you hold as to being, you know, pastor's wife. I mean, it's not, and I don't feel like he had to teach you that. You knew what was like, you know, you understood this.
But he told her. He told her also though. You gotta think about that. You just can't put it on her and saying that she need to conform. She chose him.
She got paid more money for that acting role than what she was worth. And what she did, let me tell you, man, it's game, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm telling you about pimping. This right here, man. What they did is they put out this godly, no, for real, they put out this godly marriage thing, and then when she applied for that role, they said, hey, man, I can't do this. I can't do that. That's the how about we give you an extra $2 million? How much we get you an extra $5 million? I think everything was planned out for her to get paid. They bought her. She was bought for that price, and yes, he can separate himself from it. But you know, in reality, that's still going to be a stain on his resume forever.
But I will say this too. You're right. I want to go on to the beautiful video that Dwayne made the other day. He's absolutely right. He's going to be going around put on his tracksuit on, run the Victim Olympics. Because I read that post. Man, this this breaks my heart because I have family members who bought that book, right? We
Right.
and Megan and all that stuff. We understood that even even church today, there's certain things like that's not even outlandish. Just saying, oh, woman, why are you wearing jeans or something like some stuff like that, But but still, it's like to me. Oh wait, hold on. Am I better now?
You're a little low.
Yeah, it sounded a little muffled.
Hold up, 1 second.
But I think that he chose her, and like I said in the video the other day, if you guys watched it, he chose her, and he was investing in an antique car, and after years of having it in the garage, he found out I don't have the parts to this car to fix it. That's, I mean.
Well,
so how do we know that?
All right, I'm better now.
Yep. Because we kind of like
wasn't plugged in.
The sister down. Like we don't really know because before the movie and when they first got married, what was the issue in their marriage that you heard of in the 9 or 10 years they were married before the movie came out?
A lot of people.
What was the issue?
Yeah, a lot of people was against her because when they got married, it was a lot of drama.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. 10 years ago. I'm talking about when they first got married. Because I remember they had a problem with her smoking. I think she smoked cigarettes. And I remember that. But between that time, between the 8 years of them married, what was the problem? Like, what issue did they have together?
It was, yeah, it was real. It was real quiet. And like again, I'm gonna say this: I'm not tearing her down.
Man.
I'm talking directly to DeVon. I ain't got nothing to say to Megan because DeVon made the choice. She didn't make the choice; he made it.
I just have a question with the post.
Y'all missing. That's all.
I'm not trying to come at her either. I apologize.
The most important part is before he was a pastor, he's a producer. Like he's a music, like he's in
he's in the industry. I know.
Yeah, he's in the industry.
What
his brother's on Empire.
These actors doing, bro. He know what these actors doing for these roles.
Men and everything, man. Ain't no tell what they're doing in Hollywood.
Yeah, Mari sold his soul. We don't know. Hell.
Yeah. Hey, he probably told her to bend down and sniff the ass in Harlem, man. You never know what these freaking motherfuckers.
And see, that's the thing, man. I think a lot of people, bro. I'm gonna say this. I think a lot of people put a lot of trust into these celebrity relationships, bro. And I always say, don't do that because my thing is this. Everybody talking about, I want me a DeVon. When they got married, all the women, he forgave her. He was with her when she was out in the streets and he cleaned up and all this.
But he was in the streets too, though. He was in the streets too. But he was in the streets too, though. We can't keep beating up on the woman now.
No. I'm not beating up on her. I'm saying when they first got married, all the women were saying, she was in the streets, she was doing this, she was doing this and that, and he forgave her. I wish I had a man like that would forgive me for my past. They idolized them basically. And go ahead.
I said, but y'all really don't believe. So look at it. They did they said we go in abstinence. We ate before marriage, right? He was a producer. He changed his life. They did a whole bunch of godly films together. They wrote a book about godly. They made as much money in that industry, and then they went back to the other girl. So I believe it was all. I think it was all the stuff. It was a business move. It had nothing to do with love and doing it the right way.
And also, it's surprising they didn't have any children. You imagine that for 10 years? That could be another. Like,
well, they knew what they was doing, man. I think it was a business move. They got together and said, "Hey, let's come together. So I got a question. So they tried to push the don't have sex before marriage, blah blah blah. So what y'all think about that? Because now they still getting the same results as somebody who would have went out and hit that thing before they got married. So I'm trying to figure out, do y'all think what they say in their book work, or y'all just think?
How did I know that was coming? Because man, I knew that was coming. The question is, they waited. DeVon and Megan waited before they didn't even have sex. He didn't touch her before they got married.
Mm-hmm.
Their first time having sex was their wedding night or whatever. And he was like, hey, "Go ahead, man. Ask your question."
So my question that I'm asking is, so they said, "Hey, this is the way to have a successful marriage. You don't have sex and y'all come to the table untouched." So do y'all think that what they said in their book is right, and they just it didn't work, or do you think a man should hit that thing before he put a
I'm a
ring on?
fuck before I marry a woman, so but you gotta think I don't follow the book like this, so
Listen,
I'm gonna do what I feel like I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fuck and see how it is before I marry a woman. But I can't knock nobody though. It makes sense. It'll be dope though. If I was a virgin, she was a virgin, we waited and stuff, we had sex, but nah, man, you gotta test the car out unless it's a luxury.
Right.
This is a high end car, son.
Jedi Mike, what you got, Jedi Mike? I know you shaking your head, Jedi.
Well, listen, okay, I'm just like I said, I'm gonna be full humility for you. Like now, I personally don't like moving forward. I don't have that luxury anymore. However, I can tell you what the woman I'm with now, like obviously, have like practice of celibacy and everything like that. But I mentioned this on the Jonathan Barefoot show, saying, is it realistic to be someone with a virgin today? No, I'm gonna be real with you. No, as a Christian, and saying this stuff, no. But in terms of where you operate into your marriage with the other person, where you'll move forward, that's between you and them. But with them, obviously, like I said, I can't judge. I don't know all the details about that. But yeah, saying is it realistic? Is for them not being, being sexually active or anything, or not knowing the person in an intimate way before prior to marriage, like getting married, it's not realistic. I'm telling you this as a Christian, Christian. So, but
I got to dig a little bit, Mike. Hold on. So are you saying that you not having sex with your girl until you get married? Is that what y'all doing now? Because you said you practicing self.
Yes.
And have y'all never did anything at all?
No.
And so how long do you think y'all guys gonna date before you get married?
Oh, that's true. I mean, we had to graduate.
Just roughly, you got to be exact. I'm just saying, like roughly.
I mean, I'm saying probably about 2 years because we gotta get masters and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, no, I say about 2 years. But
you a virgin? You a virgin?
No, sir.
No.
But the person I was with before, I thought we were gonna get married. But then so it's not like I'm giving out to somebody that that isn't worth a damn or anything like that. So, but to know now, that's the thing. I like I said, it's sacred to me, regardless of like if I might have given that up to somebody prior to marriage. It's like it was sacred, but it obviously never that relationship didn't go to marriage. So I mean, you live and you learn. But I'm speaking also someone at that time. It wasn't just the fact that I gave it up. It's also I was being me and her were being basically biblical hypocrites. I mentioned this on the show because we were in position of leadership, doing what most folks do, encourage them not to do it when they're doing behind closed doors. And I know I don't want to operate now like this was like years ago, whatever. So now I'm older now, that I want to operate in a way that I'm not being a hypocrite to myself. So that's what I'm saying, that not just gave it up away. I was also other things tied to why I don't do it. I'm not doing that with the relationship I am now, regardless of what she was doing. But yeah.
So
hey, Jedi, how old are you, Jedi? If you don't mind me, how old are you?
23.
Oh, young man. Okay.
Yeah.
So you saying you willing to not have sex for the next 3 years?
That's dope, man.
Yeah. Because when I say it wasn't I'm saying why is it not realistic? Because most people, I mean, this world requiring self-discipline itself on a mass scale is not realistic. That's why there's winners and losers. So it's just like I equate that to myself as well. Like I'm going to take the harder route, right? But most people won't take the harder route. I mean, it was the flesh. We're in a carnal world, whatever. And I said it happens, but I'm just like I want to operate myself in a way. That's where I'm challenging not only my flesh, my body, but also my mindset. I know things that where when I have to explain these situations, people say cap. Well, that's why I'm moving in a way where I'm self-disciplined, things I don't have the luxury of doing, so way I can delay that luxury for later. But knowing from the situation I'm coming from a smart man mentality instead of a wise man, because like I said, the smart man learned from his own mistakes. I wasn't wise in that situation, so I'm trying to be
But I'm trying to figure out, are you saying
that
is it against biblical principles that you shouldn't have sex before marriage? Like, what principle are you standing on? Because I'm confused.
Principle of that also having premature, things just change with the woman's like physically, but also spiritually. For example, like a thing called soul ties, you initiate with somebody that you're not supposed to be tied to, whatever. There's also things where just as me, that we're not supposed to be together. I also don't want to mess someone else's potential wife, right? And so that's another thing too. Just like, I don't want to be, being destructive on somebody else, whatever. And vice versa. She didn't want to mess up someone else, a potential husband. So we had that conversation. And even though we don't, communicate anymore, it's just a level of respect that we just, go on separate ways on that. But I don't.
So what's the point of dating for 2 to 3 years? Because that's the part that I'm missing. Like, okay, if you say, "Hey, 6 months,"
it's something for him though. That I ain't gonna lie to you, brother.
I'm not
be 23.
I
just want to say this to her, but to be 23 years old, man, that's remarkable to have sexual discipline like that and to have a goal with one woman.
Exactly.
I salute you for that. Don't let the Christian man beat you down for what you want to do. But I'm
not beating down. I just want to understand his concept.
Boy, when I was 23, you know how many, man.
And listen, I'm in college, my senior year. You think, man?
Then you in college too?
Look, I mean, no. All right, listen. Let me tell you this.
I salute you.
There's also just self-discipline. No one just like when I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But like, you also know, just like,
I like it, man.
My senior year, like, things, I'm in groups and organizations stuff. I have a name by myself on campus. So like, when you have that, people around you and stuff, like, obviously, yeah, it's like a temptation there. But like I say, that's a discipline. You gotta, like, treat yourself accordingly, and also have your boys hold you accountable too as you hold them. Like, they see somebody trying to come at me, whatever, they try to go talk to her, and I just go like, we got our own thing, we look out for each other. But that's the thing. I'm taking the harder route, regardless if it's realistic or not. But yeah,
man, that's
I like that, brother.
I salute you too. Hey. I salute you, bro.
I don't see how you did it, boy. I lost my virginity at 18. So I lost my virginity at 18. So I ain't started fucked out at 18.
Got you. I was 20. So it was 3 years ago. And it was bad too. We just like, listen, I'll tell you this.
Mine was bad too.
No, because listen, we went. No, it was worse because like it was at we did a before service.
I don't think yours works like mine.
We did after service, and then we did back. At the grandmama's house and stuff. Did after the Bible study. It was it was bad. It was bad, but it's just
we did it at the church, brother. We did it at Anderson United Methodist Church in the back of the sanctuary, brother.
Oh Lord,
that's why I lost my virginity.
My Lord.
Okay, you beat me on that one.
What's the name of the church? Not go back in the back of the church. What's the name of it?
Hey, don't ever go back. It's right behind the choir. It's called Anderson United Methodist Church. It's right off Hanger Moss Road in Jackson, Mississippi. Former pastor Jeffrey Stallworth. That was I from a big girl that worked at Popeyes, man.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's dope if someone wanted to take that path.
Well, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Just discernment, knowing like, because I was in a conversation with somebody that I'm gonna basically be doing this more content on the younger audiences, my channel moving forward to New Year, because. Also, I will admit, even while I was on the Jonathan Barronville show yesterday, because that topic always comes with sexual immorality, everything, come with us as Christians. Saying, well, are you a virgin? No. Then everything you say is irrelevant. It's like we don't, as a people, don't normalize, confessing, in terms of like where we were wrong, because we don't sake of pride. We don't want to be in a state of humility because we don't want to be on the chopping block, not knowing that, regardless, I'm not trying to go spiritual with you. But that's why a lot of men left the church, because they don't see a man being accountable of his past, whatever. And yet you're calling me to do something, acting like you are the, acting like you are, the saint, where you have the white dress, there's no speck of dirt on you. And yet you're encouraging others to be the same when you're the ones the most filthy. Like, you talking about that, communicating is actually leading to people being sanctified or delivered. So me normalizing where I have been and knowing how I change my actions, not along with my character and being self-disciplined. That's why a lot of men see results. They don't see what you're talking about. So that's why I think that goes to another conversation. But that's why I respect with Sir Hale and even K Soul. He said he had a child prior, them getting married. Now they are, and he's saying that how he communicates with people, like he knows where folks have been before when they might have done things that they might not agree with, but now they're in the better results and outcomes and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the thing. I do not want to, like I said, continue being the hypocrite that I was in the past, and because that spirit, and then people will still keep that facade. They always want to keep that facade, protect them, but really, you're doing more harm than good, and really, you just become a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're a false prophet, but I'm not one. So,
see, the problem I get it from a biblical point of view. Well, so I don't want to go down that path. But so what I'm saying is, so somebody who, a lot of people that we see on these platforms are not believers, right? So we get a lot of believers, that people that's not believers, and they're on this platform. So he said, hey, so if you got a dude saying, hey, Jedi, I'm 23 years old, I'm not a Christian, so I don't need to subscribe to the religious side of that. Why I shouldn't do it? Why shouldn't I do that just from a human side, in your opinion?
Because that's easy. Yeah. Well, I encourage that, because saying, well, from a human side, knowing that you basically being in a relationship with someone prematurely messes with you and has psychological effects on not only the body but the mindset. For example, when you, like I said, you take let's say different behaviors or qualities of someone when are physically attached to somebody. But women, that's what I say, women are more crucial than that, because guys, our bodies are built differently, where we can actually go and move on, multiple different partners, whatever. But with them, like you take, she's with a certain individual, she's bonded until that, for a certain period of time. Well, that's what I'm saying, that it's, with power, but like, but great power comes great responsibility. So that's why I would say kind of give that answer, that with men, especially you're not doing that prematurely, in whether you're practicing, safe sex or whatever it might be, like understanding that on us as a human level, society sense, it's like when we might get to a point where things go left field and then she gets pregnant, we're screwed regardless of what the situation might be. And you think the woman is until she gets pregnant, then boom, right?
But
so that's what I'm saying.
We can't act like I can't have sex with women.
Sorry, you're going in and out, man.
I said we can't act like I can't have sex with women and not get them pregnant. Like I'm saying, it's really common for guys to have sex and not procreate. So I understand you say I have a responsibility to her, but as a man, how do I have that responsibility if I'm being transparent and upfront with her? Hey, I'm just trying to live my cottage life. I'm trying to have sex, and if she subscribes to that, how do I have a responsibility that if that's how I want to live my life outside of belief?
Well, because also, but there's also another thing too. Like you gotta be. I put more emphasis on the man of holding your, being holding your stature, your frame in situations where you're also not led to temptation. Because like if you want to be with the leader, you hold the bearing and responsibility on not only to yourself, but also to her. So there's things that where it's like when you coming through, regardless, like if she said, she might want to, do something, and you have wherever your foundation morals might be, you have to stick to it. And so you just can't be, so swayed easily. And I know it's, tempting. That's what I'm saying. But
what if I'm the swaying? I'm the one doing the swaying. So I get it. Like I shouldn't get a woman. A woman should be able to convince me to do something that I don't want to do. But what if I just want to do it? Like I don't see nothing wrong with me having sex. And then once I go and get married later on, I'm committing to that one woman. Why can't I experience this? Like, what is so bad about it? Because the one thing that I hear in these platforms, nobody really say why not. They say you just shouldn't do it. So like that's for the whole panel. Why shouldn't I have the sex? Like I don't understand.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I will say this. You can do whatever the heck you want to. I'm encouraging, saying I know from my experiences where it's come, and now understanding why my father, when he told me don't do it, and how I already got through that choice, I would understand now what I can give that to my children. Knowing what they know, they might be getting themselves situation too. You control your life. You control in terms of how you operate, and also the choices that you make, and you're gonna have to accept the benefits and consequences of that decision. And regardless those consequences may come, you don't want to make that choice. So saying why I shouldn't, why you should or not, I think we're kind of. I just making sure
you ain't the dick police, man.
Wait, what's that again? Say it again.
I said you ain't the dick police, man. I said you ain't the dick police. You ain't got to explain yourself, man. We got you, brother. I salute you for it.
No, I appreciate it. But I'm saying, man, it's like, man, I know because we've been in many platforms about this. Because I understand you want to find like the solutions or actually reasoning why. But regardless, will Uncle Stu tell it to you, whether I'm telling to you or other folks, I just say you control, your outcomes in terms by your choices. You're a product of your choices, and with that comes with outcomes of benefits or consequences. So that's a short answer.
I'm not liking that. See, so when I'm talking to young men, they say, okay, Jedi don't do it because he's a Christian. So they say I don't subscribe to that. So why should I do that? So I'm trying to get outside of belief, because belief is important. because I believe in that. But outside of that, why should I subscribe to this? Because say I'm 23 years old, I'm having sex with multiple women until I turn 30. I don't have any kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yet.
Like what? Huh? Well,
Yet.
we do not. I think men can control who they have kids with. Like we know, like you know.
If you train your body like that, but like I said, it just like
So that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that kids come
Stuff
out of
happens
accident.
though. Stuff happens though.
No, I don't think
exactly. That's my point. You can't say.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like you know,
you don't have to be wrong one time. That's it.
Like, one time, bro.
You know when you about to ejaculate, and I don't understand why is it so hard for you to be able to pull out or wear a condom. I'm saying that means that mostly 100% of the time you will be good. So I don't understand why you can't have this fun if you know. And the reason I'm saying is because I did not have any kids before I got married. You know what I'm saying?
Was you fucking like that? Was you getting pussy like that? Was you getting a lot of sex like that? Or was you fucking one woman at the time?
No, I was
You look like you bought something from my cousin or something, brother. Talk to me.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying this. I'm gonna say I was having sex before, and I was having sex. I was doing my thing. I was out there, but I knew the discipline. I knew it was a certain. I call it sperm discipline. I knew not to leave my seed inside no woman. Point blank, period. That's something I knew.
Okay.
And so that's
shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
We can't hear you, black man. You muted, brother.
So you saying dick discipline and sperm discipline is two different things?
Yeah. So every time I hear people talk about dick discipline, they talk about being a virgin.
Thank you,
B9. Right? But when you talk about sperm discipline and not leaving your sperm any and everywhere, because she got to have the sperm to make the baby. When we literally start talking about sperm discipline, and I'm telling you, man, you can not nut in a woman and still enjoy yourself, bro.
Yeah, but Emmanuel, when you say it like that, let's be real. If men had a choice, like on a serious note, if they were like conscious of it, because sometimes when we talk about intercourse, it can be magical and intimacy can be so passionate. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I don't know. If that's the case, the vast majority of men, if they really could control who they had kids with, they would do it.
But that's why 50% of men don't have kids. I think it's a large group.
But that's not why, though. Part of the reason. Hold on.
What I'm saying is
oh, go ahead.
It's a large. When we start looking at the women that are getting pregnant, they're only getting pregnant by maybe 20% of the men. So what I'm saying is, it's still another 80% of men that's not having these kids.
But there's a reason why.
There's a lot of dudes ain't getting no pussy either, bro.
There you go. They not pre-selected, bro. The girls don't want to reproduce with them.
But
it's not by choice.
I know a lot of dudes that's having sex out there that doesn't have kids. Like I'm telling you, me especially being in the military, I know dudes that go from duty station to duty station to duty station, and they beating these women down and they don't have any kids.
Yeah, but I also know people don't get in car accidents and have the seatbelt on and die. So so I shouldn't get on. I'll put the seatbelt on until I get in the wreck, right?
I'm just saying, if you protect yourself, what's wrong with protecting yourself? I just want to understand what's wrong with protecting yourself.
Oh, I should cancel my car insurance. I don't get in wrecks. Like,
what I'm saying is that you should put on the seatbelt. You put on the seatbelt. You put on the condom. It's almost the same thing as putting on the seatbelt. You protecting yourself.
So let me ask you guys this. I saw this, and I wish Black David was on because he loves his people, and I love his people too.
Yes.
And so there's this Nigerian scientist. Her name is Dr. Umide or something like that. She did a study saying that that men were created. Sex was created for reproduction, and then she also went into saying sex is. It's polygamy. Oh, there you go. Speaking of the man. So watch this. So I'm gonna play the clip for you guys so you guys can see it for yourself because I want to explain it, but I'm just gonna let the video play. Hold on a second. This is crazy. When I saw this, I'm like, what? Let's see.
I heard my name called, so I just jumped in.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh man, it's crazy. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Good evening, judges. Biologically, sex is designed for one main purpose, procreation. Anything else, that's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact. A man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. Take those away, every man will cheat. It's simply biological. Now let's look at the extra. It's a known fact that women for the most part are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. A man loves his woman by protecting and providing for her. Period. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities. Thank you.
I agree with that. I think it is two separate things.
Can I say this way? Chineke, it's an African fade or you hear that we get thrown under the bus. We're bad.
So I mean, what do you guys think, man? Let's talk about it. Like, do you think that men are by nature polygamous?
Yep.
Yes.
100%. 1,000%. That men was never designed to be with one person until now. That's a new thing.
Yeah. Wow. So she said that we create so much sperm, 123 million. We reproduce that every day on a daily basis. A woman only produces an egg for a child once a month.
Hold on. Black man, let me clear something up. I think Kaylin put up a comment about a pre-cum, right? So I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I do want to clear up from the research that I've done. There is no such thing as pre-cum. And I've kind of talked about this, right? Because it's a misconception that's always put out there. So I just want to clear it up. So what a lot of people confuse. I've cleared it up before, but let me make sure she understands. A lot of people confuse the secretion that comes out prior to you actually releasing ejaculation. They confuse that to be actually pre-cum. But a secretion, what is it designed to do is clear the tube out of all the I'm forgetting the word on the top of my head.
Acidic waste.
Acidic waste. There you go. Acidic waste, so that the swimmers do not die on their way out of the tube. So there's no such thing as pre-cum. That is a secretion that's designed to clear the tube so that the swimmers can safely get through to finally get inside of the woman and swim. So just want to clear that up. There is no such thing.
He comment or he ain't?
I'm telling you, Caleb, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. That is secretion. I know you like to believe that is not pre-cum. That is a secretion. You can look up the word secretion. It will tell you.
Oh, man. She said that to Emmanuel. 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 You want to address this? Kaylin said this.
Yeah, whatever. That's what it really comes down to. The great thing about me being transparent, my wife knows who I am. See, it's different when dudes get on these platforms and get to talking like this. My wife right there, she can hear everything I'm saying, and she know I talk like this. So the biggest thing is that right here. Amen. Since she want to go there, know your worth, man. Get you a woman that accepts you for who you is. Don't get you no woman who try to change you and try to motivate you.
Look at this. She said she's this too.
So
that's actually interesting, though. I actually don't know much about necessarily if women are polygamous. Just because they can't reproduce as much as we can that doesn't necessarily is an indication of they're having a polygamous mind, because I really don't know the science or the research on that.
I think women not. I think women only want one man. I don't think women want to be out here getting dick grabbed by all these men. So let me ask her a question: does she want more men? Does she want more women? Does she want to be involved in the show? Ask her. Does she can hear me? Do you want 2 more men or you want more women?
She want more resources.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but see, over history though, because we're in America and we're in an abundance country where basically so much of the things are handed off to productive men, and they're taking care of the less productive men, that we forget back in the day we didn't have these buildings to maintain. Back in the day we didn't have electric gears to maintain. So women, they may have been hypergamous to whatever that time frame was. So when you really think about it, it's not necessary. They're still hypergamous regardless.
You sure?
Say not many men rich enough to be polygamous. I mean,
Jenny, if I'm lying about that,
I don't.
I've seen. You can't put too much faith into these reality shows, but these sister wives and all this other shit. This dude really don't do nothing. Like, I mean,
let me put it like this: when I saw Sister Wife, I thought to laugh. I'm sure Jenny told the same thing I was saying. Both of you laughing.
Right.
Why? They don't know what it's like to have more than one wife and you have a big house. You live in Nigeria. You bluntly see it. They showboat it. They have ceremony. I'm sure you look all over YouTube. There's a Nigerian socialite, playboy, who got about 6 or 9 of his girlfriends pregnant all at the same time, and he would paraded them.
Yeah, he
one by one after another. One by one came out with a belly, and another one,
just walking,
and another one. I'm watching. I'm like,
and got the music in the background. What? Oh, now,
now. Yeah, and did you see the guy? He just passed away. He had 23 wives, 100 and 80 kids, and 126 grandkids, or something crazy like that.
In this country?
No.
Yeah, in America, we can legally only have one. I want to address what she said though. See, this is the problem I have. Everybody, these women in the chat.
Here we go.
These women in the chat right here, they hop on and they keep talking about they don't like how men like me say that I am a dictator and this, that, and third. And I got the results. I got a woman who subscribed to what I said. And these women typically by themselves, they doing stuff by themselves, and they can't get no man.
Bang, bang.
If you can't get no man, I'm gonna tell you straight right. This is maybe you need to change. Maybe you need to get a little bit more submissive, and you need to get
save yourself before you get canceled. You get canceled.
I can't get canceled. I don't got no YouTube channel. How you gonna cancel me? I ain't got a YouTube channel. They gonna keep letting me come up on these platforms. I can't get canceled if I'm not doing this for money. See, that's why I think somebody asked me. That's like, hey, are you gonna try to get into the world? I just feel like when money is involved, I can't talk the way that I want to talk. Because then you guys start making the right decisions for your paycheck. Since ain't no paycheck, I'm gonna speak my mind.
Listen, I want to go back to the topic if I can. So he's talking about not believing in not idolizing these relationships. Just go back to the Leaf Network last night.
Okay.
We had a whole list of women. You had Jada Pinkett Smith, Ambrose, a bunch of people. And first of all, that man, you were up there late last night. There was a bunch of foolishness that was going on with their
it was one guy that was in the military talking about he was going to beat up his girlfriend over some Chinese anime. What is going on?
Anime.
Oh my
God! I didn't want to get on. I was like, no.
Then one dude said he slapped this chick and he was laughing about it. I'm like, dude, I'm out.
I bought some $8 Chinese food. $8?
You better eat this Chinese food or I'm gonna throw it away. And she was crying eating the Chinese food. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kay with the facial expression, she's like,
yeah, but
she didn't know what to do.
You know.
So
and he was wearing the uniform on top of that.
Uniform. He's like,
breaking the regulations. He breaking the regulations. Got his hat on in building. You know he was supposed to be doing that.
We got that on Amazon. But listen, but with that, I would say I'll go to Jada because one thing that I know we know she talked to town like this past year and everything. But I want to go back to when I was younger. I was like around a kid when Oprah was still around. There was one episode when they had the whole family up there. They're all dressed in white. It was when the Karate Kid came out, right? And they had little Willow. She started about to do her music career. And they got the other son. They had the whole grandparents and aunties, uncles, all the stuff on the side, and showing just how nice their family was. And I'm just like, and at the time looking like, well, look at it's the Smith family. Right. And you just look, now just 10, 20, 15 years later, whatever, and look where they are now. Look how the children operate. Look how, in terms of the disobedience of the wife, in terms of the reflection of in terms of the man or what, because you still got his last name. Listen, I understand Matrix came out, man, but that, Will was not on the red carpet. Will wasn't there. Listen, it just there's a certain level, I think, of decorum that to a point that you got the man, you got Will Smith, and then for Megan Good, you got this man who's in status in an edifying position. You can say whatever, we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but there's certain level of things where it's like what comes with not actually carrying yourself as a woman and what you might be affecting in terms of overall image of not only him but also the family. So, and then your children are a byproduct of that. So,
but you got to know that these men accept. If I'm gonna be with an actor, I gotta share her. Like, come on, like when we start talking about how
what?
Oh my God,
man! Don't stop.
Wait a minute. What you say? Say it again. Say it again.
These men know if you decide that you're gonna be with an actor, I believe that you gotta be open to sharing her. Like,
sharing her or sharing him?
Sharing her. When I say sharing her, like I think these women.
You got a point.
Hey, Brad Pitt, come here.
Good example, Halle Berry, Monster Ball.
Man, yeah, come on, man. I'm just telling y'all straight up is that these actors are getting these parts because they sleeping with these directors and stuff. We know what's going on the backside of this stuff. Like, hey, it's crazy that you think you're gonna get your actor who's gonna be a wholesome woman. That is crazy. That's just crazy. I don't think
you saying they all
No. So about okay, I'll give you one about Viola Davis or Angela Bassett.
Let's be real. Hollywood like to dictate what the actors or the actors supposed to do. Now, to get those big money movies, sometimes you have to break your moral code to make those kind of money. We cannot deny that. Let's be real about it. Look at Denzel Washington. He did a lot of great movies before he even got an Oscar. When he did Training Day and he had to go below his moral compass and they grade him some kind of way, he got an Oscar. What happened to all the other great movies he didn't have to do that for?
Right. He went bad. You're right. Halle Berry too. She didn't get an Oscar until she did that sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton.
So we cannot deny what Emmanuel is saying. That's why I support his clause on this issue. Because at the end of the day, you're working for Hollywood. You're talking about the Hollywood that now it's open up of all the things that people have to do to get roles, get positions.
And my thing is this:
you can deny it.
Halle Berry did Losing Isaiah. That was one of her best movies ever. She never got an Oscar for it, right? But as soon as she got butt naked and started having sex with Billy Bob Thornton on the floor, to make me feel good. She got an Oscar.
No, that wasn't a movie. That was a porno movie. That movie is a movie to automatically.
You're right.
And you give her an Oscar for that? Are you serious?
Like, you're right.
No.
I mean, I saw that. I
saw that, and I asked myself this question: what the point being an actor or actress for? That you have to sell your moral compass to get an Oscar for a black person? Like, come on.
Like, we need to get you whipped, and then you get part of the Academy Awards. Then you're part of it. You know, we need to
even the
down.
But think about what Emmanuel was saying. If you're married to an actress, you got to share her. So if she want to get a big payday and she had to do a certain sex scene, guess what? She had to do it to get the bag. It's not so? Halle Berry, Megan Good, Vivica Fox. Who else did the same exact nonsense?
Okay, with those, like,
if I were to go down the list of black female actors who had to sell them short for to get an Oscar in a movie, you cannot deny this. Like, come on.
I'm not
Jennifer Lopez just said now that when she did Money Train with Wesley Snipes, they had a sex scene and he came unscrapped. You know how they tape your penis down so you won't go insert the woman and she's naked or laying in the bed? she said he actually got an erection and came untaped or whatever, and he went right inside of her during the scene. And she said that was her very first movie. She didn't complain about it. She didn't say nothing. She said the reaction you see in the movie is a real reaction from sex, from him stroking her out. And she said Wesley didn't stop. He stayed in character. And she said she felt violated. And now she's saying, it's the Me Too thing she's trying to do to Wesley right now. And Money Train came out in 94. I mean.
But listen, you know what? I want to acknowledge
that. Black man. Based on what you just said just now. Which would just say, wait, you don't blame Wesley Snipes or you want to blame the director? The directors are there. They come in without there. No one stopped it. They recorded it and they make money off it. So why you want to blame one person?
Right.
When you're not blaming the whole entire cast? I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that because the director was in it. Mm-hmm. The camera was in it.
And she said she didn't say anything because she didn't want to be labeled as difficult to work with.
Because she just got out of Living Color during that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, yeah, you're right. There's a price.
And they had a relationship too. Didn't they have a relationship after the movie also?
No, they never dated.
How many action sex scenes that actually do real sex scenes in the movie? Not gonna complain about it. Like, come on. Let's not play double standard here.
Right, because Will Smith and Jada, that scene in Ali, that was real. They did that for real. That was real. That wasn't fake. He said the only way he could do that with his wife is they had to make it look realistic. So, Emmanuel, I just want you to know, I'm going to put it back up here because I know you probably didn't read it. And we're going to go into something.
I saw that. I was like,
I'm going to say this right here, and I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go because I don't want her to leave. I'm going to say this right here.
Let me tell you something. Before you say anything, man, somebody say something. You can get a man, but can you marry the man?
Y'all better chill. Y'all better chill.
No, because... The reason I say that, I had an ex-girl who did the same exact thing before I met my wife. She said, I can get any man. I said, yes, you can get any man. You can get a fireman, you can get a rapist, you can get an arm robber, you can get a burglar.
Hey, watch the words, man. Come on, man.
You can't say
no, YouTube sent it. We didn't get this channel monetized. Come on.
I know, but when you say you can get any man, that's not bragging right. Because you could get anybody you want. Doesn't mean you can actually tie down to one man who would want to take the ring and make a vow to commit to you only because I can say that I can get any girl. Doesn't mean I can get just the girl. That was a phrase that I learned after I came back from Nigeria. Like that is the dumbest phrase to ever say. When you say you can get any man, keyword, anyone, doesn't mean they're high quality. If you can get
any man, she said I can get a man. See, I clearly vividly read it. I promise you.
I want to dissect this. Let me dissect the whole comment. Right? Go back. Now go back.
Here we go.
So let's dissect this. All right. So she said, men love me. Women that have men that love them are married. Because when a man fall in love, I'm gonna tell you right now, once a man fall in love, that's it. And I know this. Women who say I'm focused on my success is because they don't want to focus on their failures in their relationships. So it's cool. I get what you're saying, but if you could be married, you would be married. That is the bottom line. You single. You single because no man has to work with you, and it's okay. It's okay. You single.
Look, I'm gonna just say this. Go back to the comment. I'm gonna say this. It's not to attack on her specifically.
Oh, you be nice.
No, it's not. It's not that I'm being nice. Just in general, women have to be careful when they say I'm focusing on my success and instead of a man, because what that insinuates is if you're being successful, a man cannot coexist at the same time, and that's not something you want to put a narrative out. Because if you're successful, you think you're going to become successful and then go back and acquire a man. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You need to be able to be successful simultaneously maintaining and having a man/husband, depending on what you desire. So I'm not against her in any way.
Let her come up. She has to come up. Let her come up.
Oh, she said, "Come on." She want to come up.
Yeah, no,
and about to get
that wasn't an attack on her. It was just like maybe she knows. No, I'm just telling the truth because a lot of women say that it's not specific to her. A lot of women get information that focus on your success, and what I'm saying is, maybe she didn't understand that you need to be successful at the same time, simultaneously, while being with a man / a husband, etc. Because then you're insinuating that they're separated, and that means you can't do both, which is, that's probably not the best way to put it, I think. But
my vice president just showed up.
I ain't totally correct about that, because I've been hearing that for so many years. I've been scratching my head. Why do people make that type of statement and think it sounds great saying that? Like, are you for real? Or I can get any man, or I can get any woman. It doesn't sound respectful. It doesn't sound honorable. It sounds lame.
That's just a defense.
It just sounds degrading.
That's
like you're degrading yourself.
No, I know it's just a defense.
I know it's defense mechanism, but they don't realize the depth of it. It's like you're degrading yourself. You're saying I can get whatever I want. I mean, I can let anyone to use me and dump me on the side.
Hey, man, she want to come up on you, Doc. You ready for it?
I'm up. I'm ready.
That is my concern.
On me.
All right,
Get our mic for president.
There go the link, Kaylin. Come on up. Come on into the line.
I'm not attacking anybody. I'm attacking the statement, because that statement does not make no sense.
I got you. But
I hear that for years.
Let us let her defend her point. Please, nobody.
A strong, independent woman. Let her. Yeah,
we're gonna let nobody say nothing. We're gonna be quiet. Let her say.
Black women.
Let me mute myself.
Me too.
Me too.
Yes. Let her come
We're
up.
gonna give it a courtesy respect. I just say I'm
the
gonna
red
give you
carpet.
this respect before you get up here, but let me recook you after you finish. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to mute my mic now.
So we might as well have a
No, I swear to God, bro, we keep doing that, bro. Everybody in the comments gonna go crazy, bro.
I'm glad I don't live in the hood no more.
Around, bro.
That was real.
I'm in Brooklyn right now.
No, I was like, dang, I'm back in the hood.
So pull that thing. Just shoot it again.
And she here, dog. I'm gonna put her right in the middle. Here we go. There you go, Kaylin.
Hello.
Got the she got the glasses too.
Yes, I'm actually in here cooking right now.
Everybody mute.
You want to cook something else too?
Everybody go ahead and mute.
Yeah, can y'all hear me good? Because I'm on my tablet. I know when I be coming on here, it be messing up. Can y'all hear me?
No, you good.
Yeah, you good.
Right,
okay.
You good.
First of all, I'm going to explain this. I made that comment because E-Man made a comment about, where did everybody go?
We here. Go ahead. You good?
First of all, you made a comment about you said something about women, be in the comments and they can't get a man and this, and that, and third. So that's why I made that comment. Second of all, I don't want any man. Third of all, when it comes to my success, the reason why I said that is because I was engaged and things didn't work out, and I do have 2 kids out of the situation. And so because I have 2 young daughters, I don't want to just be out there. So it's not because I'm just choosing my success solely. It's because I'm raising 2 young girls, and I don't want to have men around my 2 young children, because I care about, because like I said, the situation between me and my child's father didn't work out. So, and we were engaged. At the end of the day, my focus is my 2 daughters right now, and my success and what I have going on with me. I have plans. I have things that I'm working on. Like I said, I work for myself. I am very much independent. I don't depend on anybody. I take care of me. I'm in the comments because I just don't agree with some of the things that you say, but it's no disrespect towards you. But it has nothing to do with me not being able to get a man or anything like that. That's by choice. And like I said, primarily because I have 2 young daughters. I've met great men, and, they understand. They understand that first priority for me right now is my 2 young daughters, and they respect it. So just wanted to hop in here and say that.
Hold on. We're going to just quite yet. All right. So the first thing you said was independent. So my question is, how you're moving? Do you believe that that's what men want? Like the type of men that you feel that can provide that successful lifestyle that you're talking about?
When I say independent, it's not because I just want to take care of me forever and that's it. It's just when I brought that up is what I'm saying. Like I don't have to, depend on anybody. I don't have to depend on a man to take care of me. I don't have to depend on the government to take care of me. I take care of me and mine.
Right.
But
And
it's
so,
not because.
So do you believe, and I'm just asking for clarity, so you believe in that relationship that y'all guys had? Do you believe that you sabotaged the relationship, or you think he did with your baby father, to be honest?
It's different things. We both had a lot of growing up to do. We were very young when we got together. I was 18 when I met him. And he was very young. He was in college. So, there's many different things. I just think over time, and like I said, it's not that I don't love him. Like, if anything, if I were to get, like I tell guys all the time who meet me, if I were to get into a relationship with somebody long term right now, the only person that would be with is my child's father. It's just things didn't work out. There was a lot of healing that needed to happen. And it's just a lot that went into that relationship. Things became very much unhealthy. We became unhappy. We still communicate. We still talk. He's the father of my kids, and he's very much involved. I'm not the type of mom that's like, oh, hey, I don't want you to deal with your kids, or, what I'm saying? Like, he does what he's supposed to do.
All right. So let me tell you why I said what I said. Okay. How long did you and your baby fathers date for?
Say it again.
How long was y'all dating?
We dated for about 8 years.
8 years. So, all right. So let me say this. So, even what I was saying is because I see all the time women are in these long relationships. They never get a promise. And then when they don't get a promise, what they do is they say, hey, since this relationship ended badly or however it ended, I'm going to isolate myself from men. And then later on down the road, I can be able to find a man to come in later on down the road after I go get my success. Is that how you meant that? That you going to go get your success and get a man later, or you just done with me?
No, I just said that I'm focused on my success. It's not that I have to get my success first. I'm just saying that's what my focus is right now, and my two children, because they're very young.
So when are you going to go get the man? Because what I'm not understanding about your story
when he comes, I just don't want any type of man.
Oh, so you think he's going to be like a fairy tale? He's just going to come out of nowhere?
No, just somebody for me. I'm a firm believer in you get what you attract. And I'm a certain type of woman. So, I'm not just gonna deal with anybody. I don't want just any type of man. He has to be somebody who's willing to come in and understand what I have going on and understand the situation and understand me. Like I said, first of all, I have 2 whole kids. I have 2 young children, young girls. So, I've met great men, but the thing is, their whole thing is they're looking for somebody right then and there. And it's understandable, but I'm the type of person, I have to get to know you. Like, I can't just, I know I'm a great person.
Just saying,
I know what I have.
Why should he choose you? Because if you say you independent,
because
you say you don't need no
man. Because when he gets to know me and he sees the type of person that I am, he wants to. That's why I said, don't get it twisted. Like, it's not that this is more so on me right now, because again, my children are very, very young. Okay. I have a 3-year-old and I have an 8-year-old. And so with that being said, I have to give it a little bit of time for me. I just recently,
I think we both can agree you're not over your baby's father. Like, you still, if you could, you would be still in a relationship with him, correct?
No, I very much am. I'm just saying, if I were, like, let's just say if I just wanted to be in a relationship, the person I would get back in a relationship if things would have worked out would be my child's father. It wouldn't be so, like, I'm just speaking on specifically right now.
Your Honor.
It's not that I am. I'm just saying, if I were to get in a relationship right now, that's who it would be with, if anything. It wouldn't, because, right, he's known me. He knows my kids. I haven't had, I like I said, I'm just more of in a dating space.
So, but how do you know? Because you make this statement in the comments, and you make this statement saying that I can get a man, men coming for me. Like I'm saying, how do you know that you can get a man? Because it sounds like you can't get a man because most men don't want what you're offering.
Who's to say that? That's what you're saying.
Hold on, can I ask a question?
I've already expressed that there's been many of men who've tried to even, date with me, be in a
trying to
relationship
hit
with
it and
me.
trying to marry you is two different things.
Hold on. Let me
but I'm
let me
not.
ask one
I
question.
have to date. I'm not gonna get married. Like, it doesn't work like that.
I get it.
So,
How do you know he's trying to marry you? Go ahead, bro.
So can I ask you a
Because I
question?
know.
Is the father of your children? You said you have 2 children, correct?
Right.
Am I right in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's the same guy, right?
Right.
Okay, so if the father is the father, why not just get back with the father of your children?
Because that's the thing. There's a lot of things that happen in the relationship towards the end. It's not that I didn't want to be.
Can you work them out? Can you go to counseling? Because we know that when
But
mothers
see, that's the
and
thing.
father,
That's what I was.
allow me to
That's
finish.
what I
Allow
was
me to
willing
finish.
to do. But when you have a person that's not willing to do that because they're dealing with their own battles.
Well, I think you should, for the sake of your children, you should keep trying, because obviously we know what happens for children. Children just are better off with 2-parent homes. So why not just, instead of dating or whatever, why not just try to reconcile?
Y'all have to understand.
There are situations that happen and between her and the father that is not good for her sake to be in a relationship with him. Okay. It's not as easy as getting counseling or just some magical thing. She can't really say online what it is.
Right, I can't.
You can't just go. So
okay, I respect.
So
that.
I get what y'all saying about it, but certain things that happen in her relationship that even I told her, not as a man.
So there's no reconciliation. There's no reconciliation.
I'm not trying to get her to go back. My question is, how do she know that there's this big pool of men that's trying to put a ring on it? Because
of the men that I talk to, you don't know those men specifically.
But Kaylin, when you say things like that, let me tell you the one thing you're not identifying it. He's saying, can you find a man that you want, not just men that you don't want? Because you could women can't turn down the men that they want. They turn down the men that they don't want.
Whatever. So he's like, again, and this goes back into my beliefs. Everything that I've wanted out of this life, I've gotten so far. I'm a huge firm believer in manifestation. You manifest.
But that's not true.
What's meant for you?
That's not true.
Were the men that you wanted, were the men that wanted you, men that wanted.
That's where we have separate opinions. Maybe you don't feel that.
No, because if it's true what you said, you can manifest the things which you want. Then why you don't? Then you would have a father for your children. That's not true.
This is the thing. Again, like I said from the jump, I was very young when me and my child's father got.
No. But our stepfather, regardless, you would have a stepfather for your children.
Can she hear? Can she hear after the relationship? Is it okay for her to hear?
We've only been separated for 2 years. So I have to date. I have to get to know people. I can't just, now, hey, it's a great guy, let me get married. It doesn't work like that. You have to get to know people. And again, like I said, I have 2 young girls. I am not the type of person and the only man that they know is their father. So I've had to put myself on the back burner and things that I want, because now the focus is raising my two daughters.
That's the right thing to do.
Hold on.
That's the right thing to do. Right. Children come first.
Facts.
We respect that, and we respect your past. So I'm not knocking you getting back with a man because I don't know the situation. That's why I'm not going that path. I just think that some women live, and this is not at you. Some women live in fairy tale land, think they got all these men to choose from. Because I don't think it's really that way. They got 20, 30 qualified men today and say yes to being married to tomorrow. I
agree with that. I don't think that anybody, man or woman, both should think that getting with somebody is going to be a fairy tale. you were speaking.
But that's what your comment. So your comment said that I can get a man anytime I want. So you're saying that you can get a man that you want.
I said. I didn't say anytime that I want. I just said that the men who have been around me, they tend to love me. They tend to really, really respect me. they admire me. My whole thing is this again, and they respect the fact that right now, because I've had to put myself on a back burner because of my 2 young children, girls at that. That is why I'm not in a relationship or in a marriage right now. Because
so you want these men back?
Huh?
So do you want these men back the way that they want you?
I kind of do, but again, it's like the whole the space that I'm in right now is more of a dating space, but at the same time, it's not even that. No, let me say this because I don't even want to do that. It's more of a friendship type of space for me right now. It's not, and I'm not saying friends with benefits. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying true friendships. I admire that. Just like me and Joe. Me and Joe are friends. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate strong male influences in my life because men have taught me a lot. I do listen. I do learn a lot from men. Strong,
Y'all gotta let
How do
me
you
ask
think
this
that
question.
those?
Hold on, let me ask this. Let me ask this one
Okay,
question.
go
Hold
ahead.
on, let me say this real quick,
What
guys.
am I saying that is weird? Hold on. I was saying that I'm saying some real weird stuff. So you said you made right. You said that to me. So what am I saying that's so weird about what I was saying?
I mean, just the whole thing about, you feel like, I mean, yes, men control who they have kids. I mean, to a sense, if you're it depends on what your mindset is, though. When you're sleeping around, they're not all the time thinking, okay, hey, I don't feel like men all the time think, okay, hey, this is just somebody I'm having sex with. I don't think that they think, oh, okay, if she get pregnant, they wanted that to happen all the time. Like,
I think men are thinking that. I can't talk about all guys because I know it's a group of men that's just careless with they see. But there's a lot of men out there that are having sex and say, I'm not out here just trying to get women pregnant. I'm not just trying to nut in any and everything. I think it's a large group of men who can control their semen. I call it semen discipline. They're just not spilling it everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I've heard from many people that they didn't realize, that it came out. But that's just some of the people that I know.
What advantage do you believe that these men that are your friends and providing
maybe that's
influence?
not the case. I'm just saying. I've heard people say, that's, sometimes it just happens like that. And when it goes back to the whole pre-cum thing, I don't know anything about pre-cum, but I've heard even female doctors have said that. They've told you have women out here who've said that women can get pregnant off of pre-cum, so be careful with that. Right. That's just something that
they're just using a language that people understand.
Right. And you know what? And I'll say this too about
so
Caleb.
When he explained it, I just took it for what it was. That's actually something that I'm going to research. I didn't take it. I mean, it's not a jab to me. I mean, OBGYNs that say things like that.
So I will say this about the whole Kaylin situation. We did used to work with this corporate company together, and she was out on the floor working, and she used to come in my office a lot and have these conversations about the relationship, about the father of her 2 children. It was only one at that time. It was the oldest baby at that time. She didn't have the second baby at that time when she worked at the company that I worked for. And we had these conversations, and some of these conversations were uncomfortable. Kaylin didn't like them, but she respected the fact that I was telling her. I was putting her up on game. She should sit there. Some days she'll be emotional. Some days she'll be resistant. Some days she'll be ready to go outside in the parking lot and fight. But hey, this is what it is, Kaylin. This is what it is. This is what you got to look at. This is what, and we broke it down. So yeah, she is telling the truth about that. I mean, she did used to come to me for that information.
But after one child, she knew that he wasn't a good suit. Why would she stay to make another? Like, that is a realistic question.
Yeah, that is real.
I mean, again, it's not even it. First of all, the problems that led us to break up didn't happen until after the second child. So yes, there were things that were going on in the relationship, but it wasn't to the extent of what led to us breaking up. Like I said, because we were still at that time, we
can still hear you.
Are you good?
My phone was ringing, my fault. But yeah, at that time, when me and Joe worked together, me and my child's father, we probably were together maybe 2-3 years at the time, and it wasn't. I still believed in our relationship.
Her phone's ringing again.
Yeah, your phone's ringing again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. At that time, early in the relationship, that wasn't that, because it was it wasn't just on him either. I had a lot of growing to do at that time too. But
So
but
in these 8 years, when did you demand him to marry you? Because 8 years is a long time to be with somebody and don't get married. So I'm just trying to understand when you say that, hey, I got these pool of men that are qualified for marriage. I was with one guy for 8 years that he never committed. I'm just trying to understand that. I'm not judging, because I see some people saying I'm judging. I just want to understand why you didn't demand the father of your kids' marriage sooner in that 8-year time frame. We can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't hear you. Your phone, her phone's ringing. Yeah, she had to come back. But
I had a question I want to ask. I'll wait until she come back.
She comes out when she comes back, bring up. But Sir Hale, I see you were talking about self. This is the thing that Sir Hale was referring to when he said that in the comments. A Christian judging again, and then Sir Hale responded by saying, "Y'all got to stop with the Christians are judging." Questions equal. So explain what you're saying, Sir Hale, to the people in the chat that are saying that the Christians are being judgmental right now.
Yeah, sorry about the exclamation mark before the equal sign is what we use in Python. It's a coding language. It means questions don't equal judgment. It's all love.
And then judgment is not the same. Well, I don't think none of us are like convicting her of for what she's done in the past. This is more about understanding, and we're not trying to find a way to call her names or anything like that. So for me, I think to call it, to say judgment, it's like who, it doesn't bother me to use judgment.
Right. We gotta look at the optics a little bit, like from the viewer end. Constant questioning is a bit. It looks a bit scrutiny. Whether you disagree or not is fine. I'm not here to change people's opinion, but I'm just saying from an optic point of view, if you're the audience looking in, and if you have constant people scrutinizing your decisions, then it does come off that way. Whether you agree with it or not,
I got a problem with that. Let me tell you why I got a problem with that. Because it's only with women. I don't
have any smoke. I don't have any smoke.
I've been on many panels. It's a lot of people that have been on panels, and I done had 9 other people asking me question after question after question.
I agree.
Since I'm a man, they're like, give him that smoke. He can defend himself. So we talking about he's going to live.
So my point still stands. My point still stands.
No, it doesn't. Your point doesn't stand. So I asked the person a question who asked me to get into a conversation. We was having a conversation. I wasn't raising my voice. I was asking questions because I didn't want to assume I knew what she was talking about. That's how you think.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Like you said, when you were on the panel, you said everyone's asking you questions like, yeah, give him that smoke, right? So again, my point still stands. From an optic point of view, right? Because we're on YouTube, so this is media. From an optic point of view, it does look like that. I'm not accusing you. I'm just simply stating the optics look that way. That's all. I'm not accusing you. And like I said, if you disagree, I accept your disagreement. I have no smoke.
Yeah, I disagree. I guess everybody know I disagree that anybody who comes on the platform should be able to question. Just like anybody can ask me any question. Everybody know that I've been on platforms. I'm open to answer every question. So if I'm going to ask you a question, I should have that same respect. And there's no disrespect. She's on. Do you think I was trying to be disrespectful or more get an understanding of why?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm not accusing you of anything. Okay.
But
it's assessing questioning.
Because you asked the question multiple times, but it's not. I don't think that is disrespect. I just think you have a certain type of view. Maybe it's about me or just you know, maybe I guess women like me or something. I don't know, but you know, and I was okay with clarifying and clearing up what you thought, you know, asking questions. I'm okay with people questioning though. Don't get me wrong, like, because that's how we get an understanding. And you know, we got to understand too, in relationships, there's not always a cut and dry, you know, okay, y'all were together, this things can very much change. And that was my whole thing with the relationship. Even though we had been together for so long, there were some towards the end toxic things that happened that were just like, okay, hey, so you know, but I'm okay with the questioning.
Kaylin, I got a question to ask. No, can I ask?
Go ahead, Black David. You can go first.
I understand want to get back with your baby father, but is he dating somebody else in the way that he didn't want to get back with you, or there's something that besides that main issue? Is it something that you think is a long-term issue that you overlook that it prevent him to come back with you or something?
You said
I know that you want to. I say I knew to get back with your baby father. Is your baby father dating somebody else, or there's something concerning him that is more like?
No, we really don't want to. Hold on, Black David. We really don't want to get into that conversation because we kind of got some understanding where it's not a topic we want to go down that rabbit hole. Honestly, she said as much as she can say without going into explicit details. So we're not going to.
No problem.
I do see a comment real quick. Hold on, I do see a comment real quick that says Emmanuel hates black women because he's not married to a black woman. I want to be clear. If someone says that, if I was married to a black woman, does that mean I hate white women? Does that mean I hate Asian people? If I'm not,
I want to address that as well.
That doesn't make any sense. You have to have a specific reason why somebody hates something, and it cannot just be because I'm not married to a black woman. I hate a black woman. Because if I was married to a black woman, that could insinuate I hate white people, or I hate Asian people, or I hate Indian people. So it's just so inaccurate, and I just had to address it because it's just ignorant. And if you feel like he hates black women, you have to be specific to the reason why. It can't be because he's getting married.
Come on up.
I want to address something because I'm also not married to a black woman. I'm married to a Middle Eastern, and that doesn't make me any less black or any less going through the black things that everybody else go through, right? I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of this kind of trope that says you have to be with a black woman to be in the black community. That is garbage. That is nonsense. We are people. We are free to be with whoever we want to be, right? I am not your slave. I am not your robot. If I like green women, I'm going to date me a green woman, and I don't care what you say. It's not that I hate black women. It's that you hate yourself because you're insecure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry, bro. I just got to get that because this stuff, like, it doesn't necessarily like trigger me, but it's just so irritating because I got friends, I got like people that I consider family that ain't black. So when I think about their children that I consider family that ain't black, it makes me feel like, damn, like, is black people the only people that's supposed to exist? Like, it's just insane. And if you thought that way, then that means you must accept the premise that other races should think they're the only ones that should exist.
Right.
We shouldn't be trying to stop stuff like this. That's insane to say these things, bro.
Right.
Really
and I want to say, just being the host here, I want to say one thing about E-Man too, because I see a lot of people standing up for E-Man. Emmanuel is a, like Sir Hale said, I'm going to put Sir Hale's comment back up here. E-Man is a decent man, strong in his beliefs and not hateful. And I agree with that 100%. I think he stands 10 toes down on what he believes. And we cannot negate this man or make this man feel less than because he chose to love someone other than a black woman. And that's the first thing we do, just like they do Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels get on platforms and he tells the absolute 100% truth. And they say he's gay. Okay, your argument is he's gay. Even if he's gay, he's still telling the truth. You can't negate the fact that he said he's gay. Look at him when he got on. Okay, he's gay. He got on a nice tight vest and some tight jeans, and he's still telling the truth.
And we're not saying that Kevin Samuels is, just for the record.
Right. We're not saying that he's gay. But I'm saying a lot of women, a lot of black women say, oh, even in my family, in my circle, oh, he gay, he gay. Okay, he's gay, but he's telling the truth. How tall are you? You want a man you want a man that's making $150,000 a year? How tall are you? Right?
But
What do you rate yourself? What do you rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You can't use 7.
What's your dress size?
How many kids do you have? What's your dress size? So, ma'am, you're 5 foot. I mean, that's good. Ma'am, you're 5 foot tall, 310 pounds, and you work for Family Dollar, and you want a CEO of a company? Get off my phone. He's telling the truth.
And for me, who work in corporate America for 20 years, I've said it in one of the other podcasts. In 20 years in working in corporate America, I have not seen not one individual, not even a black man who's making more than $250,000, bringing a girl from the hood to any major event. They had to dress up. Never. And the thing they don't understand is this. These men are not trying to bring people that will sabotage their image. That movie called Set It Off was a brainwashing moment. People think, oh, you can get... No, you cannot. It's almost impossible. Which man from a major law firm want to risk his partnership, like I'm bringing multi-million dollars to his firm and bring them in front of her to sabotage his image? Like, come on, let's be real. If it's not corporate bank, it's a law firm. It's not a law firm, the PR company. If not a PR company, it's the fashion industry. It's not the fashion industry, the car industry. All across the board in corporate America, black men who are highly successful, making 6-figure and up, and not trying to bring anybody from the hood.
But Black David, I don't mean to cut you off, but I appreciate the time, y'all. I gotta go. You know,
Anton,
go live in a minute. So I appreciate the time, Black man. My guys, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, we'll be in touch soon.
I want to say this. Go ahead. I want to say this because I gotta go too. I just want people to look in the mirror. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole that they was down, but look in the mirror. And most of these people who make these statements are single and do not have a black spouse. So if you are a woman in the comments and you make that statement and you're not married to a black man, do you hate black men? Because the question is we got to really start asking ourselves is who is the other person and what is in what they have on the other end to prove what they say is right. And like I'll tell y'all this right here, I'm here to tell the truth. And truthfully and honestly, what I have saw is that nobody can pull any video out of all the time that I'm me hating towards black women. I don't even say black women. Every time I say something, I'm talking about either the modern women in general. So I tell you straight up is this right here is I appreciate you having me on your platform, black man. And y'all guys keep cooking. And this definitely was a great conversation.
Nothing but love for you, bro, E-Man. And Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I love you and your family, bro. And kiss those babies. And y'all have a good Christmas, bro.
Happy birthday, E-Man.
See you later, brother.
I'll be related.
So I was saying, let me tell you what I was saying.
Did anybody have another question for Kaylin before she goes?
I did.
Go ahead.
I want to take it back to when you said that you were in a dating space. I don't really want to get into like your past and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to help move the conversation forward. I was going to say, like you said you were in a dating space and that you had men that, that were a good, strong presence in your life. I wanted to ask you, what advantage do you believe you present to them? And then where do you see it going as far as when you're ready to prioritize? I don't say necessarily prioritize it because that might not be what you want to do, but when a man either fits into your success or that you prioritize whichever one of these men that you want become something that you pursue, even on like just pursue seriously. Does that make sense? Does my question make sense?
Yeah. And I should have not have used the term dating because I'm really not even really dating right now. Like I said, it's more of a friendship space for me. Because
that's what triggered me.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I should have used a different word because initially when I got out of the relationship, I guess I kind of just considered it the dating space because of the simple fact that, right, I'm no longer in a relationship. I am single, so I'm dating. But in reality, it's not really dating because I'm not active in it. It's more of a, like I said, I'm only open.
We don't have to call it dating. What do you? Okay, so from the friendship then, because friendship is like what does a man being your friend look like to you in a relationship and then outside of a relationship? That way it's black and white. For me, it's connections.
Just connections. Like I said, I learned a lot from men. I learn a lot from men and women, but men specifically, you know, it's just, I mean, just what I would look for in any friend, really, just somebody who I can talk to, somebody who I can, you know, relate to. We can do things together, plan things together. Really, that's really it. Because I'm not in a space of, okay, I'm dating to be married. Like that's not the space that I'm in right now. So
I mean, I'm asking not to be in your personal business about like what you do with your friends. I'm asking more from the sense of that's where the value of the relationships is for you right now as it pertains to you pursuing your success over a relationship. So for me, like the distinction between like what a guy friend is that, you know, that you're okay with, that you guys are both mutually okay with. Because like to me, it's like when I hear it, it sounds like the friend zone. But I understand that men can have certain platonic relationships with women. So when you say a friend in one sense, I'm like, okay, so a friend is a friend, and I believe all guys know how to be a friend. When it comes to this, to a friend that's not you're not in a relationship with, it's like, what is it that do you feel like you're submitting as a woman to your friend in the same way that you would submitting in the same way that you would submit to your man in a relationship, or is that like the same thing for you? That's the gray area I'm trying to clear up. Does that make sense? I know
like with my male friends, is it like, do I feel submissive to them like I would a partner?
Yeah, because there has to be, like, to me, I think there has to be a difference. I'm trying to see if there is a difference for you or not, or if you know, if you do feel like the man is getting something out of feeling, out of having a relationship with you, not a relationship, a friendship with you, the same way you're obviously getting something from them. Like the balance is what I'm looking at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I mean, I'll say this.
If you don't know, you don't know. Also, I don't like. I'm very open to people not answering my questions.
You good. I mean, as far as a male friend, it's kind of the same thing that I expect with a woman friend, in a sense, if that makes sense. Like,
no, doesn't make. Okay, you can't. You got.
No,
I'll
it
let you finish.
doesn't.
Not
like I'm not expecting anything. Like I'm not submitting to them more than a friend, if that's what you're insinuating. Like,
no, I don't want to insinuate. That's why I was saying on the platonic level, because I understand that space of friendship, but when you say like a woman friend, it just makes them sound gay, to me at least. I don't know about anybody else. That's why.
Yeah, no, like friend, just like a friend, like somebody that I'm cool with. Like, let's say like Joe, for example. Me and Joe are friends. But that's, you know, I'm not looking to date him. I'm not trying. He's married, but I'm just saying in general, I'm not. That's what I'm okay with. I'm okay with just having male friends because that's just how life is for me right now. Getting out of the relationship that I got out of, yes, I've had to heal from certain things, and I'm still doing some healing. Like it's not a old relationship, and like I said, my daughters are very young. So it's not even that, like I told E-Man, it's not even that I'm just solely putting my success, like that comes first. It's not that. It's just right now my whole focus is making sure my two daughters are good and being raised the way that they should be raised. And really, that's it.
I mean, I only have two more questions, and or I'll let someone else go if they want. I just
okay.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Are you taking counseling right now since the breakup?
I was in counseling. I was in therapy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not currently right now, but for that first year I was.
Okay.
And in the relationship I was too.
Okay. My last question I'm gonna ask is do you watch Anton Daniel?
Anton Daniels. Oh, not really. I've seen a few of his clips, but not really.
I know, because some of his views about dating he have against it because he don't believe in dating. So I was thinking maybe you to look more to his video about what he talk about, not dating, but being around people within your network who you can relate to, start off from a friendship, but get to know who they are individually before you go to the next level. Because I believe from dating you can get a false representative of that individual, but when you're not dating, you're in that friend zone. you can see who they truly really are and understand from and grow from that point. Because
right. And that's kind of how I look at it. That's kind of how I look at it. You know, I'm more of a right, because it's gonna take time for me to. With me, it takes me a minute to really get to know somebody. That's really where I'm at with it. I don't want to be, because when you're dating somebody, like I tell some of my friends, like, or just being in relationships with people, just relationships, it's kind of like they expect things from you. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, no, that's my whole thing with dating. It's like the expectations. We're not in a marriage, so you shouldn't expect me to do certain things. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. That's why I said
that's what I
I'm
meant
looking
to
for
Anton Daniel,
friendships.
because what he said, it confirmed what I said for so many years. I was like, I made a mistake to my 20 going to the dating, because when you're dating, like you say, you're expecting something. It's like a fourth representative
Right.
of that individual. You're not seeing that true nature of that person. But when you're in that friendship zone without anything attached, you get to know who that person is from a platonic level. But at the same time, you can pick and choose if this is someone you want to be with or not. But in the same way, you don't have
I
to put
agree.
yourself in danger. So that's why I mentioned Anton there. Black men understand what I meant by that, because his views, I'm not gonna lie, there's a book that I had to read before from Joshua Harris called I Kissed Dating Goodbye. It's a Christian book. I read, there were 2 to 3 different versions of that book. I read the last version of it, and I read through it, and I realized what y'all were talking about. I think the problem with dating, it tricked people from not being prepared for a proper path into marriage. Dating do mess that up a lot. It does. I think that what caused your situation when you were in with your baby father, because at that time you didn't get to know who he really is. You started at a young age, which I understand. Dating don't help people in the young age. It does not, nor did it at the middle age or the later age. If you thought about the friendship, I know a lot of people are not going to agree, but what you do, you save yourself from a lot of heartache and headache in the process. You
Yeah,
get to
because
know
when
who
you're
that
committed
individual
to
is.
somebody, I think when you're committed to somebody, that's when there should be expectations. But when you're not committed, then right, you shouldn't expect certain things from me. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree with that in a sense. Um, I look at marriage a little bit differently than the Christian way, but as far as if I were to get married, right, then I am committed to you. So, you know, like I said, I look at it more of a business standpoint too. I kind of agree with Brian on that. Like it's more business and for me, than anything. Um, so yeah, like I said, I do agree with that. I do agree with the whole friendship. Like I'm comfortable with having friendships, not dating, because pretty much at that point when you get in a relationship, when you're dating somebody, technically it's like, right, they're expecting you to be there for them at their, every need in a sense. And it's like, no, I can't. That's why I had to take that word away, because I was like, yeah, no, that's not what it is.
Right.
So I would advise subscribe to Anton, watch most of his videos, because he have a lot of good points in that. That's why I'm
I'll
mentioning
go
that
and
one out
I'll
there.
listen to that. I'll definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, God, I gotta head out. Whatever. But yeah, I said I'll be
Yeah,
contacting you
me
all
too.
soon
I'm
and
about to get
everything.
back to cooking.
All
So
right, brother. Well,
happy
hey,
holidays.
appreciate you, Kaylin, for coming on and asking your question. We love you. Peace.
Yeah,
See ya.
thank you,
Thank
Kaylin.
you,
Thank
Kaylin.
you.
Hey, so I'm gonna ask this question. I know you gotta go, Jedi. I might love you too, bro. Hey, Merry Christmas to you, guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Mike for president.
All right, bro. I'll see
So
y'all.
for the guys that are still here, man, a few of the All-Star cast still here with Sir Hell Speak. Oh, no, I'm doing it wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Hell Speaks in the building. That's my guy. What's up, Sir Hell?
What's up, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the villain name Zoe. I didn't get a chance to say your name out loud, bro. Welcome to the panel tonight. We still got Brian. We still got We Ain't Signing. We still got the Canadian-born Nigerian himself, Black David, in the building. So anyway, I have another question for you guys. So before you came on, Sir Hell, we were talking about the Megan Good and DeVon Franklin situation, and I want to ask you that question. Do you think it's more of him choosing a lady that everybody said that was promiscuous, that he tried to clean her up? Because earlier I did a video yesterday, and I said that when he got with her, she was at that place, and I said she was like an antique car. and he got her and he valued her and he took her home. And years passed by and he just looked in the garage and said, I cannot find the parts to this car to fix it. And I think that's why he ended up filing for divorce. But what are your thoughts on this situation?
I think you can love somebody that's not good for you. And I think in this particular situation, there's their value system. They just weren't good for each other. I've been thinking about this over the last few days, and I think once you have dopamine and a person goes through a change and they want to change, that the desire to want to change and that love is not enough. You've got to see that behavior even before you get married. I think one of the mistakes that we make is that if a person changes to be with you, then I think that's a dangerous thing. I think a person has to do the change themselves first. You have to observe that for a certain period of time. And from there, you make a decision as to whether or not you guys can be together. I think in this case, the beautiful story about how they waited for marriage and stuff and how they changed things for that. I think it's a beautiful story, but I don't think it's practical. People have to change within themselves for themselves, and then you benefit from that change. If they do it for you, it's only a matter of time before you do something or your marriage reaches a hurdle before you revert back to who you are in the first place.
And guys,
but that's just the truth.
Right. And guys, Sir Hill speaking so much truth right there. And God, if you have not, let me say this to you guys. Let me do what Sir Hill does. I'm gonna mock him right now. If I could take some out of his book. Watch this. If you guys have not gone on Sir Hill's page on his channel and watched that video he just did. Oh, lovely. Thank you. And if you haven't watched what he did on that panel with the doctor, what's the doctor's name, Sir Hill?
Dr. Hannah Yosue.
Oh, go to Sir Hill right now. The people that are watching right now, and they're going to watch later, go to Sir Hill Speaks and look at that video. Oh, it'll blow your mind. Matter of fact, Sir Hill, I was going to ask you earlier, could I use that I was going to do a reaction video to it.
Please.
Oh my God. I mean, it is amazing. Amazing. So back to the question. What do you think, Villain Namezo, about the Megan Good situation? Do you think that, he chose wrong? You think that he tried to do something that wasn't good for him? What do you think?
I'm so pro it's the man's fault. Not to say I don't hold women accountable, but I'm so pro it's the man's fault. If you choose, then you have to you got to take everything else in stride with it. So it's his leadership. Like I think he said something like he went against his own rules to have her. That was the first mistake. Once you go against your own word, you have to be able to suffer the consequences. And there might be situations where rightfully so you should go against your own word because you didn't know what you was talking about, right? Right. But anytime that you go against your word, there's consequences under God that you're going to have to suffer for it just because of you doing that and creating that conflict. I mean, God saves all, but in that situation where you're making that serious of a commitment, now the consequences are going to be just as bad, and the emotional investment for a man is going to be commensurate to it. I guess I don't know the word too well, but like the extreme version of is when I guess when people try to compare trying to marry a porn star, it's not to say Megan Good's a porn star, but the extreme version is the mental capacity of men to deal with naturally the fact that their wife was a porn star and that people had such access to her, and then going with Megan Good, I think it was something of the same sort where she did a sex scene and things I guess were falling apart already beforehand. It was already ripping apart at the seams. So, and these are all things that I heard. I don't know anything for a fact. So if someone wants to correct me on what the actual story is, correct me. But I from what I saw from when they first got together, and this is a little bit of a gray area for me because I always thought Megan Good was fine as hell. I felt like when he made the decision, I couldn't judge him too harshly when he did because I was just like, I kind of get it, dog. It's Megan Good. You feel me? I had those emotions. I felt that way. But at the same time, I know if it came to me, I wouldn't because of the fact I'm not built to have a woman be have her career be have more influence on my relationship with her than I do. If that makes sense.
I want to ask you something, Zoe, and if Black Man, if you don't mind. So how we say things like, I was thinking about this today. you know how we say a person that's who they were. You made a mistake because that's who they were. You know how, like, let's say you go to the military or you take on a certain job. You have to become what's required of you in order to either keep that job or to stay in that particular branch of the armed forces. It's only with marriage that we are able to say, you know what, I'm gonna come into it and then I'm gonna do what I want to do, and then you should have accepted me that way. Isn't there criteria we should have to like live up to and grow into when we are married and then sustain that?
Very well true. Very well true.
Yeah.
No, I would have to say no to that. I would have to say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that also.
Yeah. So here, well, I'll let Zoe finish his answer, and then I don't know if I'm. Go
ahead, because I want to.
Okay.
I'm
curious. So first, I want to start with Black Man Unfiltered's questions, and then I'll go to Sir Hell. So, a lot of the things that I was able to accomplish, I attribute that to my life plan. Right at the age of 13, I had a life plan. You know, do this by this time, do that by that time, stuff like that. Now, some of the things I hit, some of them took longer, right? But I had these benchmarks, and to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Franklin had a plan, right? He even wrote a book about it. This is where his plans is, and all of the things that Megan Good were met his red flags. So at the end of the day, he did not work his plan. And changing for people is the worst thing you can do, right? The woman is not loyal because of you. The woman is loyal because her parents raised her to be loyal. The woman is wife ready because her parents and culture, right, trained her to be wife ready, not you, right? For the job, you need to already be qualified. And so that now I'm going to segue into what Sir Hell Speak says, right? When I chose my wife.
Can I go against what you just said just now? Because there was a lot that you agreed, that I agreed with. I like that, like from what you said right there. I agree with up until the point of the fact of the red flags, because that's everything that I was saying. That's where I place the blame on him for the red flags, is that she's going to fall in love with who she thinks you are, and if you forego your red flags, you're not the same person, so you're causing her to fall in love with somebody that you're not, and then from there, that's where the problems begin. That's why I'll put it on the man's fault.
Okay. But I mean, but at the end of the day, right? He didn't work his plan, right? Because he had a plan.
That's where we're in agreement. Yeah, but go ahead.
Right. Okay, so now I'm going to segue into what Sir Hell Speaks, where he says, like, so first let me understand if I have it right? So is there opportunity to grow in that space? Right? That's your point. Am I correct or am I not correct?
Not particularly. So think about it like this. So let's say I have a child and I'm not qualified, quote unquote, to have a child. Right. Isn't it my responsibility to grow into the role necessary to be a great parent to my child? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So isn't it the same thing for marriage? It doesn't mean that it's going to be overnight, but don't I have an obligation to not only ready myself, but improve myself as a spouse if I choose to make that commitment?
No, because because what you said earlier, changing for your child or growing into your child is different because you owe that child, right? The child did not ask to be born. It's your responsibility as a parent to be what they need for them to be successful. Changing for a person is like what you just said. It's a bit more dangerous, right?
So
you have to change things like that has to be for yourself.
Yes, I'm not talking about changing for a person. See, the reason I use the child is because it's a level of commitment to something that you're responsible for. And if you get married, I believe you're responsible for the marriage, not just the person, but because you made a commitment to something. It's equivalent to like you take out a line of credit. Right. Let's say you didn't have the right amount of money for it. Right. You're still responsible to make sure you keep up with that. And I think if we treated marriage that way, I think we would probably see a little bit more success rates instead of people just saying, you know what? Hey, I wasn't ready for it. Oh, well.
I would combine you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think that, okay. So for me, I think that, well, let me put it this way. For me, from my research, I come to the conclusion that how you make sure people are married is by the pedigree they have to be married. If they don't have the pedigree to be married, then just don't marry them. I think the problem with the mass amount of divorce rates is that men don't know how to vet, and women don't know how to vet marriageable people. Because I do like in our culture, like Hebrew culture, you can't give a bill of divorce. Like we don't believe in stay married for no reason. However, unless you have children, then you make that work. But if you don't have children, do you. But if you have children, then other than abuse, you make that work, because at the end of the day, children suffer the most, right? But if you're childless, I'm childless, we can go on and then create another life with someone else. But when the children involved, that's a whole different ballgame. But I think the problem really relies in your choice, because I do agree with you. You do have a commitment. You do have a responsibility to one another as spouses. However, the responsibility and the due diligence needs to be before the nuptials, not after the nuptials.
I agree with that. Yep.
Having the children is, I'm kind of going to combine We Ain't Signing and Sir Hill's. I know you guys put the examples to make a distinction, but having children falls under marriage, just because if you have an obligation to that child, like We Ain't Signing said, according to like they didn't ask to be here, then to be in their best interest, you should be married, and the person that you're with, you should have that kind of solid relationship in advance of the child, or when you have the child. That's where the shotgun wedding idea came from, because there was community around to hold that man and woman accountable to the fact of what they brought into existence, to say you guys have to make this work. The thing what made me agree with Sir Hill initially versus what We Ain't Signing was saying was that when he said I think, or even when he clarified that I'm losing it. I just remember what I wanted to say. I don't remember what Sir Hill said. But what he said made me think this. What he said made me think, because the space to grow, the space to grow only works in, well, at least in my opinion, only works in a religious context, because there is a structure there for you to appeal to look for and say, hey, what do I do in this situation, or what's the principles behind this that's going to move me forward, that's going to guide me. Without that, then you could get married and then be stagnant and be okay with being stagnant, just be two stagnant people together, or separate at any point. But then that's where you have people who end up having even 30-year marriages and end up leaving, because there's no real. I couldn't see myself wanting to leave a 30-year marriage, but people are doing that even in this day and age, and it's because it's a godless marriage. There's no space, there's no structure to say this is what you do to improve at this point. This is what you need to work on at this point. These are the stories of people time immemorial that influence great change in society. Well, back then, or maybe they're just idealistic stories. However you want to look at it. If you don't like the Bible, if you don't like the Torah, or if you don't like Buddhist text, or whatever religious text that you want to go off of, I'm going to go off the Bible. If you don't like what's being said in there, then it allows you to reflect on yourself in a way that you understand that you have something to aspire to, and that if you don't like something, that you can judge yourself as less than it, because there's other people who followed it to over the course of time. If that makes sense.
Right. And yeah, I want to say this. I want to ask a question, Sir Hill, to you, and then I'll ask it to the rest of the panel. But I'll start with you, because I know you about to punch me with a right and hook me up, or cut me with a left with this one. So, say for instance, Lady Talk Hill, right? Somebody comes to her, Tyler Perry comes to her and say, "Hey, Lady Talk Hill, I would love for you to be a part of my new Tyler Perry movie. I want you to be a part of the Oval." And she goes to the set, and then she does her job, and then the premiere comes, and you watch the premiere, and you see a scene where there's a guy lying on the bed, butt naked, both of his legs up in the air, and Talk Hill's right there in the middle, looking up at the camera. What do you say to your wife? Is that something you understand as that being her job, or is that something you'd be like, "No, you done went too far"?
That wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't have made it to the premiere.
Right.
I mean, that's just what it is.
elaborate a little bit more? Because you got me over here about to die. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, like. So I'm very careful. Like, if it's one thing if this was what she did before, and she was okay with that. But I married somebody who there's a certain standard that she has nothing to do with me.
Right.
There's a certain standard that she has for herself that there's certain things that she wouldn't do. So in this case, and even because I would say no, even though I would say exactly, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have to say anything. And that's why I said I think it's important to make sure that the person you marry, they are who they are for themselves, because you benefit from that. And no matter what you do or how they feel, you don't influence to do something that's against their character because they had that before they met you. So to answer your question, she wouldn't do that.
If they tried to sneak that in somewhere and they tried to like ask her in the middle of shooting to say, "Oh, well, this is the same we wanted to add in," I'm showing up with a machete.
But I want to if I can elaborate on that. Yeah, because like my wife would not do that either, and it's not anything because of me. It's just because she just wasn't raised that way, right? There in her culture, they don't do that. She would never disgrace herself to do that or her family to do that, right? It has nothing to do with me. I mean, obviously that would be bill of divorce if that did happen, but it just wouldn't happen, and it wouldn't because of me. It was just that she was just not raised that way, right? It's all about her. She respects herself, just like Lady Hell says, right? It's her character. She respects herself too much to do something like that. So yeah, you just don't have to worry about that because that's the character of the person that you marry, right? Because a lot of times people say like, oh, if you're the man, if you're the leader, blah blah blah. Anyone who's been a leader knows that you cannot train, you cannot change people. Your job as the leader is to put them in successful positions to grow. That's your job as a leader, right? She's that person, right? My wife is that person. She has self-respect, and she just wouldn't do that to disrespect herself, let alone her family and her husband.
Can I say something to this? I'm gonna answer both black men question. The first question. Me and my wife predicted it when we heard they would get married because DeVon is like water. Megan Good is like oil. Water and oil we do not mix. We all know who Megan Good was before she met DeVon. And when I heard on the news 9 years ago that they would get married, the first thing came to my mind like, are you really kidding me? Like, are you really for real, for real? You gonna sacrifice your moral foundation, your moral code that you built on for how many years to marry someone who for many years has shown her track record who she really is as an individual. That's her core. DeVon core is not the same as Megan Good core. And to think that you can change the person, it's kind of like an oxymoron. Because this fall into the same category with Walter Wilson and Sierra. There's a problem where people need to understand. She was not raised to be a wife, Megan Good. Nor was Sierra. Yes, you married them. But at the same time, what their core foundation is based on, and that's how they will conduct themselves regardless. You remarry them, even though you have a covenant over them. The problem is, what do you think for a person who had a career in the movie industry, in Hollywood, what she does and how she subjects herself to thinking that you're going to reduce it down just because you are a pastor? I found that very mind-boggling because at the end of the day, I was thinking, was he thinking clearly or he was acting on his crush?
Yeah, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Most men, if we're gonna change, we do it for a woman in a lot of cases. That's just most men, not all, but most men. If you look at history, Kingz have done great things, but they've changed who they are for a woman. So we can't pretend like he's doing something that all of us either have done at some point on a smaller scale, right? We've all done that before, right? It's just his is more public because of his position and hers as well.
Well, yeah, that's true because you got King David, King Solomon, things like that.
I was about to mention that. You took that word out of my mouth.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean that's true. But at the end of the day, she didn't even take his last name. So you know, that's a precursor, right? didn't even take his last name. And he's just as wealthy. He's just as connected in Hollywood as well, right? I mean, he got his break with Will Smith, right? Who Will Smith is a megastar compared to Megan Good.
And look at the similarities in their relationships.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean,
he said in one show, "Oh, chick, whatever you want in Jesus' name." I was like, "No, you did not do that." Like, are you kidding me?
But at the end of the day,
you were like one show, "Oh, chick, whatever you want in Jesus' name." And when he said that and signed it off, I was like,
Megan Good did nothing wrong.
The thing about him saying
that Megan Good did nothing wrong.
There's the scene right there.
Purge my eyes, Jesus. But let me say this though, and this is not me. This is just me thinking. Just if I think about it from a practical standpoint, beautiful women, women who are absolutely beautiful. I didn't realize this until I hung around some of them. They have a fear that at some point they're going to lose that, and once they lose their beauty, they lose that attention. And I think that some women who have been beautiful all of their life and who've made their money, who've made a living, who've developed a level of fame from that, have a hard time when that's going away. And sometimes they go to the extreme to sustain that. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm just saying that I see a pattern with women who've been known for a certain thing. And then as they get older, it seems like the things that they do are more extreme. And I think that's why in this case, I say, let's have some grace on her, because even what she's going through, even the optics of it looks bad, but she's still a person too. And I'm pretty sure she's feeling, the effects of her divorce as well, with it being public. I'm pretty sure she feels something as well. So I want to put that out there, that while we hold her accountable and, we're talking about this, she's still a person too. And I'm pretty sure she's still feeling, the actual real effects of this public divorce.
I don't have that grace for her. Not right now. Not after what Black Men Unfiltered just showed me. I wanted to say something to Black David's point from before. So, Black David, if you're gonna have another point right now, I'd rather get this out now before you, so that you can speak at will.
Go ahead.
Okay. So when I had asked you what he said, it was a thing where he said she can wear whatever she wants in the name of God, right?
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Right.
So when he says that, I imagine that he's saying that with the same spirit, and this is naive of him and horrible for him. This is why I don't give her grace and why I don't give him, why I put the blame on him. To when Sir Hale answered the question, like she just wouldn't, like his wife just wouldn't be in that scene. It would be a matter of her. Devin can't say that because that's what Megan Good was doing. You can look at her past and say she's going down this certain path, where Sir Hale even makes his last point that he just made, to say that women end up doing more and more things for attention as their beauty fades. There's like a different semantic conversation we can have about that I feel that we might disagree on. But for the point that I'm making right now, I think we're both on the same page. Is for him to say that she can wear whatever she wants in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, it's kind of against. It's not in the name of Jesus, because specifically you can look at her past and see it. So when he has to look at that, his mistake clearly to me is not saying, "Oh no, she talks to me about what she wears now," because I had to ask her about what she wore before, in other things, to say that in the future this could be a point of contention for us. That's what he said. He was basically cheating on the test. He was taking the Sir Hale approach to it, when Sir Hale can look at his wife and say, "My wife's never done nothing like that before, and I can trust that she's not going to do it." So in Jesus' name, Sir Hale can say that. Devin can't say that in Jesus' name, because that's not who Megan Good was beforehand.
Devin can't say that.
So and the point I was trying to make, sorry, let me tell you real quick. The point I was trying to make, according to what Sir Hale was trying to say, in the Bible, they call it vainglory.
He can say it. He just can't say it in Jesus' name. Man, that is the funniest thing I've heard tonight.
Man, and you know what? I'll say this, because Sir Hale said something about what she said. And this is what she responded to, Sir Hale. I don't know if you saw it or not, but this is what she said. I know you guys probably can't see that, but I'll read it to you. She said, this is what she tweeted. She put on Instagram right after it was announced. She said, and let's break this down, guys. So it says, after much prayer and consideration, we have decided to go into our future separately, but forever connected. We celebrate almost a decade of marriage together and a love that is eternal. There is no one at fault. We believe this is the next best chapter in the evolution of our love. We are incredibly grateful for the life-changing years we spent together as husband and wife. We are also extremely thankful to God for the testimony being created inside us both and for blessing our lives with each other.
Cap.
So may I have first crack or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first I want to say Megan Good and from my purview is actually innocent. She did nothing wrong. She just
I agree.
She's just being who she is. Now to break down that, I mean, well,
you don't think who she is can be wrong?
That's cap.
No, she is who she is. Right in the Bible it says the clay the clay does not tell the potter what it is. The potter makes the clay what it is. Some people are just for destruction, right? Some people were made to be that, right? I mean, it's clear. Well, in the Torah, it's clear. So
that's wrong.
She is what she is doing what she is born to do, right? So that is not her fault. She is living her purpose. She is born to be. She is doing what she's born to be. Now, as far as that, I believe that was a tweet or Facebook post or something. I mean, what can she say, really, right? What can she really say, right? She has to kind of bow out with grace and dignity. So, I mean, what really can she say? The only thing that I think is a little bit like misleading or just delusional is the futuristic of your love. I mean, or testimony. I mean, pretty much it's dissolving. So, you know, I mean, you're just gonna live your happy life separately and move on.
Just
I mean, yeah.
Yes, Pete. Yeah.
But my thing is this though. People do break up and don't be toxic. Some people can break up without it being toxic at the end. You know, that's why I was saying earlier. Yeah, people can be civil. So what she said, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know, I think we so used to in the era of women just attacking the man, or if she was to say some negative things, then most definitely I can understand people saying, you know, that she created this. But for the most part, I don't see what she has done wrong. And what's her past is her past, because the dude got a pass also. He ain't too perfect himself also.
She wrong by definition.
Or whatever.
Yeah, by definition.
Let me
she's not wrong for just no reason. She's wrong because she's like they are religious people. We're not talking about like non-religious people. We're talking about religious people. And we're talking about marriage of like whether it's legal or not. It's founded on Christian values. It's founded on religious principles. The understanding that two people can be one. That's not a logical thing you can say. That's a religious thing you can say. You can only say it because you believe, and sort of say that you're separating after you vowed for life. Even though I believe a man should stand on his word more than a woman should, she still had stood on those words also. I think someone in the comments said she was crying at the wedding, and he's probably looking back in her eyes like, oh yeah, now she's changed. She ain't changed, and now that they're separating now is the definition of wrong. You're supposed to look down on divorce. Even when divorce was allowed in the Bible, it's just like it was begrudgingly that divorce was allowed in the Bible. I'm not sure if that's Moses. Somebody can correct me on this.
Life don't move like that. I live in reality, man.
This is reality.
People just don't. But people not
two people that are
like
dating, two people married though. Two people
married. People get divorced, bro. People get divorced. People get tired of each other. Just like somebody said earlier.
And then that's wrong. People give their word and they break it, and that's wrong. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying people can't break up. I'm saying people are wrong for giving their word and breaking their word before themselves and then before God. It's there's levels to this. It gets worse and worse as it goes up. When you put it on God, if I said I was going to be at your house tomorrow on God, you would look at me and be like, "Nigga, you better be here." Nigga, I'll be at your house tomorrow. You're going to be like, "Nigga, you gave your word." There's levels to this, and whether you're religious or not, you understand that. If I tell you anything on God, whether you're religious or not, you still understand where I'm coming from. So if you make a situation where you're married to somebody, then you are wrong by definition.
I look at it different.
But even according to the Bible,
I get what you're saying though.
Right, even according to the Bible, you can get divorced, even begrudgingly, fine. But it's
because it's wrong though. That's the point I'm making.
No, it's not.
Fine, but that's my whole point.
If it was wrong, it would be against the Torah, and in the Torah, it doesn't say it's against the law. Divorce is not against law. It's not against the law. So
that's all it is. It's not against the law. It doesn't make it right.
But that's what the law says what's right and what's wrong, right? Even Peter says that. Yes.
The law doesn't say what's right and what's wrong. The law says what should be the case, and then the judge says what's right and what's wrong. Someone judging the situation,
right? But but the laws and statutes and the commandments, right, doesn't say it's not right to get divorced, right? So that's where. So okay, let me put it this way:
there was a law for slavery.
From a Jew perspective, from a Messianic Jew perspective, if divorce was a sin, it would be stated in the Torah. But because it's not stated in the Torah that it is forbidden to get a divorce, it's not a sin. I'll put it like that. But I respect your opinion. But
you're okay. Go ahead, finish. I'll say what
but you know, there's no law in the Torah that says divorce is not permissible.
Right, for a reason. Like allowing divorce was not something that was
because even God divorced his people. Even God divorced his people.
I don't know what you mean by that. That's making it a bit too broad for me for this conversation, but I guess I'll address that on some other different topic or time. But as far as the point of divorce was made to because people were talking about the extremity of a situation. So if I say I want things this way, and then something happens and it causes an inconvenience for me. If I'm like, oh, be here by 8 o'clock, I need you here by 8 o'clock. Even get there by 8:15. I can accommodate the fact that you were there by 8:15. It doesn't mean you weren't wrong for not being there by 8. You were already wrong for being there by 8, and that's what divorce is. It's an accommodation. Like divorce defeats the entire purpose of marriage. So to say that it's not wrong to get divorced it is wrong to say that.
But
like,
God
it's an accommodation. Israel. It's like a subletter. It's like the fine print. And then you can't get divorced. It's not the main text of the contract. The marriage doesn't say
Israel
till death do us part. Well, okay, that's a different conversation talking about marriage. But
God. But to be fair, he divorced Israel, but then he went back after her and got her back. So
no,
the reason I don't want to have the God conversation is because. Go ahead.
Hold on. He married Israel. He divorced them, and then Christ came. Right. That's the whole purpose of Christ. So
precisely.
God, right?
God is above me. So that's why I don't want to have the God conversation. Is because God is so above me, and He's so idealistic. He's so much that whatever He does is just going to be holy regardless. So I can't be like, oh well, you know what? Well, God did it. I can do it too. There's a bunch of things God can do that I can't. So the conversation there doesn't really go anywhere.
Right.
It's a trump card for you. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like. It's like, oh, but God did it.
No, I'm just saying it's not a sin because it's not forbidden in the Torah. That's what I said first.
Oh no, right? I understand that. I'm making the comparison. That's why I'm saying it's not a fair comparison.
So let me ask this question because I think that a lot of people are forgiving. I think a lot of people can see a person for who they truly are and marry them and be with them. And so I'm going to ask the question in a lighter form just for men because it's all men here. If the women were here, I would ask both ways. But since we're dealing with just the Kingz tonight, my question is, could you marry a woman who was for the streets? Do you actually think that if you got with a woman that was for the street, do you think that she would be a good wife, a good mother to your children? Do you think her life could change to a point where she can be this miraculous woman? If you're religious, a woman of God. If you're not religious, just a great woman altogether for you and your family. Like bring her into your life. What do you think?
Can I get that question quickly? You want to kill me for my
father? Say it again, Black David.
I'm taking that African turn. You want to kill me for my father?
Wow.
Let me be honest with you. So I want to say no. My younger self would have been no, and the reason why is I couldn't handle the idea of her being with X amount of people because I don't know all of me, right? So my younger self would say no. At the age that I am now, if we're talking about for the streets where like this is what she wanted, she partied and she got videos all over the place, is no. But if we're saying that she's got so many partners and she did that because that's the life she grew up around, that's what she saw, but that's not who she wanted to be, and she's putting in work to change that, then you have to look at that a little bit differently. I know too many people, not too many. I know some people who were, because that's what they saw. They saw their mama doing that. Some of them were prostituted early on. And they picked up those ways until like maybe they had a child and then it stopped. I think people can change. So for me, that answer depends on what phase and stage you are in life and the development she's put into herself. So to me, it depends. Beyond my 20-year-old self, absolutely not. As I get older, though, I see people different. I see situations differently.
So let me put this. Let me throw this crowbar in there. So just for instance, because we're in the media world right now, everything is on phones, everything is video now. So imagine if she did turn out, like you said, Sir Hell, she changed, she had a baby and she changed her life for the better. She's this magnificent woman, but her videos were still out and everybody was still watching them, right? You could pull up and watch her video that went viral. Are you still having the same mindset? Are you still, if she's still a good woman, she's changed her life, she's not about that life anymore, and she changes her life. And those videos are still out there.
To be honest, just because my life is visible as well, and I aspire to run for office and do things like that, I would have to say no. So I think that answer goes into what is the man's trajectory? What does he want to accomplish in life? Will who she was affect his trajectory? If the answer to those questions are no, then that's different. Now that is definitely not Cap.
Can we get an answer from We Ain't Signing and Brian? I had something I want to expand on, but I don't want to point of view.
Okay, so We Ain't Signing. You can go ahead and get your point of view about that.
Sure. So in the Bible, it says that the sins of the father passes down to the third and fourth generation. In the Christian community, you guys call it generational curses. So no. I would not date a woman who was a porn star or anything like that. Second, in the science community, there's something called epigenetics, where memory of the blood and DNA travels down from person to person. So this is the second reason why I wouldn't do it. Because let's say she changed. Okay.
You're breaking up. We ain't signing. You're breaking up.
You went digital.
Yeah, you may have to adjust. You're breaking up. It's like a connection issue over there.
The internet is mad with him right now.
Brian. Yeah, Shanghai China said we want him off now until he gets it fixed. But yeah, he'll be back in a second. But go ahead, Brian. I mean, would you be willing to marry a woman that was previously or currently for the streets?
It depends. It depends, man. Whole change. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of promiscuous women out here that went through their whole phase in their college years, and they probably was on tape and didn't know it. You know, and they probably be some hell of a women now at a later time in life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It just depends, man. It just depends where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like if I'm just like Sir Hall said, you know, if I'm running for office now, I wouldn't, you know, be with a woman like that. But for the most part, I haven't ran into nothing like that really. But I am friends with some, you know, former hoes that are married and are, you know, pretty dope women and mothers and stuff. So that's my thing on it. So I don't look at it. I don't take it as that serious that's why I don't believe in God and, you know, in Christianity and nothing like that. I just get to look at things from a different perspective without having all these rules and these books and guidelines and stuff. I just look at it for what it is.
Why is that not
what life took me.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay, so did you guys hear me about the like generational curse part, right?
Yeah.
You was on the science. I want to hear again.
Okay, so in science, there's something called epigenetics, where the DNA memory transfers from bloodline to bloodline. So even from that perspective, I would not, because you know that behavior will be passed down to my children. Right? Because when we look at it, when we look at children who come from single moms, they end up being single moms. You look at children who moms were out there like that, they become out there like that, right? So there's something in that blood there. And I believe, for me, I believe in family planning. And the wife that I chose her not only because she'll be a good wife for me, but most importantly, to be a good mother. And if she's out there like that, what kind of messages will she teach my daughter? Will she teach my son? So for these reasons, I would have to say no.
Okay.
I agree with everything he said just now.
Yeah. I want to say
the emotional part, the physical, and the science.
The science too. Like I'm glad he brought the science to the conversation. Me, I'm gonna make it. I want a girl that, you know, she minds her business and stays on the sidewalk. She sees what's happening in the streets, and she wants to move into my house immediately, under my circumstances. Like, she can't be for the streets. I don't want for the streets.
To be fair,
for my house.
She was for the street, which means she changed.
Oh, so yeah. If she was for the streets, nah.
Right.
God can save her. I do believe there's a chance for her. I do believe God can save her. I think anything is possible with God. I advise, you know, single mothers, or I advise one for the streets, or, you know, not to put them on the same level, but I advise women who are, you know, looking for opportunity to go into the church to find it, because that's where there is structure to deal with saving women like that. You know, they can go to social work and therapy, but it's going to take God. But for me, I got to know for me that she was for me, that she said that she knows what the streets was and says, that's not for me. I want one of these nice houses on the other side of the sidewalk. I don't want to go anywhere near those streets.
Right. Well, and can I just add this to the conversation? Reformed people are better off with other reformed people. Like, I was never in the streets like that. So I don't know what, like, I don't know how to cope with that. I don't know what she's dealing with, even as she changed. Reformed people should be reformed people. Just like I believe that I don't have children yet, right? But if I did, and God forbid something happens where me and my wife are no longer together, I would choose a woman who had kids, right? Do a blended family, right? Because we understand the challenges and the things and the things like that you need to go through, right?
Let me ask you a question, because that's a spiral down. So if you got cancer, you're going to find somebody with cancer too.
We're conflating the issue, because those are two very
no, we're not. What we're saying is that we this cast, we come together. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of religion, right? Because we're saying that we are just whatever religion, we are sinful, we're wicked, we're terrible, and without God, we're hopeless. That's the premise of most religions, right? So we're saying that if we can from our religious perspective, that we can change from our carnal, mere sinful selves, that Christ can change it, or God, whatever you believe, can change you. But then we take a step back, and then we assume that people can't change as well. Like, how does that work?
Well, first, I want to say that I do believe in classism. So let me just say that first. I do believe in classism.
That makes sense.
I don't believe that all people are equal. So that way, you know, don't behold me to that, because I don't think all people are equal. Secondly, I think comparing someone to cancer and comparing two people getting together because they both have kids, those are very two, you know, different dynamics there. For example, if I meet a woman who has children, I have children, I think we're able to kind of understand each other's time commitments and things like that better than if I'm dealing with a woman who don't have children at all. Right? Because maybe she wants to start her family. Maybe she wants to start a family with the father and the mother both having the kids having the same father and mother, right? I mean, those are very different dynamics than a person being sick, right?
The point that I'm making is that I think what we're doing is we're saying that I think we take out, and we assume that just because we're alike in terms of what our lives are like means that we're more compatible. And that's not necessarily the case. I think there are women who have children who don't necessarily want to be mothers. And I think there are women who don't yet have children who want to be mothers. So looking at it from that perspective, that's what I'm saying. I hope we're not this black and white, because it's hard to just say it's these two ways and that's going to be the best route. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay. Let me say it this way, because I don't want to be unreasonable. Yes, there's nuances, and then in certain cases, yes, you would be right. Sometimes the opposite will match better. However, when I manage my life, I'm black and white, because I do believe there's nuances, but the majority of time I would probably say no. But there are nuances. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like majority of the time, it would be better for a man without children and woman without children have a start a family together than when one person with children, right? But is it possible for one with children come and they have a great family and die together and have all the things that we are told in Disney movies? Yes, absolutely. But I mean, but you know what I mean. But you're more likely for success in scenario 1 than scenario 2. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I think it's culture. So again, so take into consideration, there's a lot of people in our great, wonderful country who have children, who isolate them from the fathers, who poison them with their beliefs about who he is. It's a very toxic situation. They have the children. Are we saying that because, there's a guy who has children that we should marry that? Or would it be more educated and more respectable to find somebody who has the heart to be not only a good parent, but also a good spouse to you? Not just on the premise that they already have those things, but that they were cultured to be those things.
Okay, what I'm saying is yes.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. Yeah. I just want to position this. Yeah.
Well, my point is saying this, right? Well, because I don't want to get too deep into this. What I'm saying is this, right? Let's say you said like a heart to be a father. It's better to find a heart to be a father who's already a father if she has children already than to find a guy who doesn't have children that has a heart to be a father. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, say that one more time, because say that one more time.
So it's better for her who has children to find a guy who has a heart for children,
okay,
and he's already a father, than a guy who has a heart to be a father but is not a father yet.
Because experience. I get you.
Right. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. That's all. I mean, now, do nuances happen? Absolutely. Absolutely they do. But I mean, we work off of probability, or at least I work off probability, right? And
so the reason I brought this up is because I saw. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, and guys, I'll get off this soapbox in just 1 second. The reason I asked this question is because I saw somebody, I saw a woman, I thought I'd never see this before, that a guy had kids, and she didn't have kids. And as they grew together, she fell deeply in love with him and deeply in love with the kids, to the degree where she was, if unless somebody told her that those weren't her biological kids, you would not know, because she poured in that love. And I'm saying that because while I do agree that experience should match experience, it just makes things, like, I think values should match values. I'm just saying in certain cases is not necessarily one-to-one. And I think we should leave that possibility open if they have their heart to fill, the shoes that are required to be with that person and their situation.
Well, I mean, it's a summation of things, right? It's a summation of things. But okay, I'm just gonna say it now because you forced me to say this. It's very so because I'm trying to be cool, but he forced me to say this. It's very different between a woman dating a man with kids and then a childless woman dating a man with kids than a childless man dating a woman with kids. It's very, very different.
I can agree with that.
Right. So and a man marrying, for example, my son, ain't no way in hell I would condone him marrying a woman with kids. Ain't no way in hell. Or my daughters. But ain't no way in hell for my son to marry a woman with kids. No way. If he's childless. Now, if he has children, yes. But if he's child, ain't no way in hell. No way.
I get you. And listen, I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you.
Black David?
Well, I'm a man who was childless, that they married a woman with a child. I understand where you're coming from with that, because for one, how would I say this? For a guy like me living in New York City, aka Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs, but trying to find a woman without a child, it seemed much harder for me to find the right one. Unless I go down to the south. When I met my wife, she had only one daughter. I always had a heart for a child, so I wanted to put that work into it. I know it's not for everybody. Everybody is different. So I understand where your point comes from, because I spoke to guys who were also stepfathers. And I asked that same question from them. What are the risks of being a stepfather? What are the ups and downs? And they explained to me, it's not always going to be easy. In some cases, you're lucky. In some cases, you're blessed. In some cases, you're in a rocky road. In some cases, you have a atomic bomb in your hand. Every scenario is different from every different woman. I fully understand the logic behind it. And the reason why they have that logic because, like in the other podcast, they keep saying there's no more honor for stepfather these days. I understand where that comes from. I'm a stepfather. My stepdaughter is about 25, 26. I love her like my own. Was that 26 or 24? And I still love her to this day.
We heard that. You need to go to therapy. Therapy immediately. Because you don't know the age of your children. Therapy for you, sir.
I forget. I know. I get busted every now and then when I make a mistake. I know that.
Oh my God! I came across the room. She's 24.
My household, they do that to me. They do that to me. They are comedians in here.
He's like, hold on. And so what I'm saying is I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna father. He acted like she didn't say what she didn't say. We all heard it live on air.
You're going.
Hey, my household is a class act. Trust me.
Oh, that is hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. So, oh no, go ahead, go ahead, Bill.
I do want to make it clear that marrying a single mother is not literally the same thing as marrying a woman for the streets. It's not the same thing. So to look at it at the
we're not saying that at all. Yeah,
okay,
nobody's saying that.
I see the topic going across the bottom, and as they're talking about it, it makes me feel kind of like. But go ahead, Black man. I'm sorry. So
no. You're fine, man. So with that being the case, and we answering that question, man. It's to me. We talk about this in a lot of circles, and we talk about this in on a lot of you hear it on a lot of platforms. Do you think that sometimes it's not about the women having so many bodies, right? Sometimes it's about the toxic or the damage that has been done to this individual that's coming into the relationship. And so sometimes we can say, oh, she had the body, we can worry about that. And most men will say, hey, I ain't worried about that. She had a past, I had a past too. Bam, we equal, we good. But what about the damage that came along with that you may have to suffer from in the middle of the marriage, possibly after you get married, years down the road, things that she didn't go get help for, go get therapy for, and those things start to show their heads in the marriage. Then how do you look at being married to someone that has a promiscuous past that was scarred by so many men?
I disagree. I'll let Brian go. Brian ain't spoken in a minute. Go ahead.
What's say, Brian?
Nah, I just wouldn't be with a person like that. If I see the signs of her being a hoe back in the day, done some damage to her mentally, why would I continue to pursue her? You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of men continue to think they can save some of these women and you can't.
Exactly.
And that's why you see a lot of men right now damaged right now. They're upset right now because you got to stop yourself sometimes. When you see certain shit in a woman, you got to, be like, nah, this ain't the one. So you should stop right there before you even get to marriage. And before you even get that far, just walk the fuck away.
Okay, now.
I agree with Brian. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm going to say this because I was watching this thing where I think I had to go back and watch. I don't know if it was true or not true, but there was this girl that actually went to therapy for dealing with this man that really he was very physically and verbally abusive to her, and she got therapy over a decade of therapy, right? And so after she started winging away from therapy, she found this man. They began to. My wife was watching this, so I ended up kind of watching it with her on the buddy end of it. So I had to go back and watch it. But anyway, he started. They start talking. Everything was good. Everything's good. They went camping and walking trails and just spent a whole lot of time together. And she was amazing. He had a son. His wife had died of cancer, so he had a son. And they were engaged. He asked her to marry him. She said yes. They were good to go. And then one day, they were at the house, and something happened with his son that triggered her. That took her completely out of everything she learned in therapy. And she immediately, it was almost instant that she went back to that same person and she started being belligerent. She started being screaming at night. She started like talking to her husband any kind of way, talking to the boy any kind of way. And like he tried to get her to go back to therapy. Then she tried to hurt herself. And I'm like, oh my. And this was out years after they even got married. After they got married, and she just mentally just snapped. Like
that's what he signed up for.
Yeah, right? It was some abnormal shit. He saw some. It was something that made him pause in the beginning. She said something,
Right.
Trust me, man.
That's what I'm about to say.
In this game, if you've been in this game for a while, man, you see shit.
Right.
See, I think what it is most men who do that. This is what I've seen. If she is more. If she's a prettier woman than he is a handsome guy, if he feel like she's an upgrade in terms of looks, a lot of guys overlook that kind of stuff because they're getting something they never had before. Guys who done been with fine girls, fine women, and that's not a problem. That's not a level up for them. So they're gonna be able to say no to that. Guys who don't have that experience and feel like that's a come up, they overlook that kind of stuff, and they oftentimes deal with that later on in the marriage.
Oh, my wife just said, because she's watching in the other room in there, she just said, and she said, you didn't tell the ending. And I was like, I didn't know the ending. She said she ended up drowning the son in the tub.
Yeah, it was signs at the beginning. That's on him.
She drowned his son in the tub.
Can I say something?
Held his head underwater.
Can I say something? Last week, we had a guy who jumped on the Anton podcast who was thinking about, oh, yeah, did a girl with an 8, 9, or 10. And I was thinking, like, is this guy crazy? You're basing a woman based on looks alone. Like, look that way.
Right. You're not looking at this.
And
men who haven't had that, though, that's just a man's instinct. If you haven't had that, then that's what you look at until you had a couple before. That's just what it is.
Well, and I mention my culture a lot, because in our culture they mention about substance. It's not always about the beauty. Don't let the beauty deceive you. Like, look can be deceiving.
But it's also about male mentorship and male influence, right? A lot of these guys don't have a father be like, yo, nah, that ain't the move, right? Like the older male.
Guys, hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you guys. I don't mean to interrupt.
I had my dad in my life, bro. Ooh.
I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but Brian, can you please marry this woman?
Who?
Queen Tila. She wants to be in your life, sir.
Brian, do you say I do?
Yeah, do you say I do? We're gathered.
I ain't no good man, Queen.
Hey, that spotlight's on you, Brian. Don't cop out.
No.
Don't cap it out.
Nah, man. I'm used to beautiful women. I can throw them to the side, man. That ain't that.
But you know what, man? It could happen at any time, because mental health. I'm gonna bring the mental health part in. We're not gonna ride this donkey for long. But the mental health part of it, even when I'm watching Discovery, because I watch Discovery and I watch these true stories a lot. And even the lady that adopted the 6 black children, it was a lesbian couple. She was white, they were white or whatever, and she adopted like 6 black kids or 7 black kids or whatever. And they were on Facebook. The pictures were so beautiful, and I mean, they took the kids out. Even one of the kids became famous during the Ferguson when they had the shooting in Ferguson. One of the kids became famous. He was one of the kids that went out and hugged the police officer, and they took a picture of him or whatever. And the kids were sneaking to the neighbor's house, stealing food, eating peanut butter. And the neighbor said she saw the kids losing weight drastically. And she was like, why are the kids so poor and so skinny? And that's what part of the punishment. The part of the punishment at the house, if you were to do bad, you couldn't eat for 3 days or 2 days or whatever. So they called CPS on her. CPS drugged their feet. They were supposed to go out the day that she took those kids. CPS was supposed to be there, and they postponed it to the next day. It was too late. So she took the kids, put them in the car. The police went into the house and saw the house was all ramshacked or whatever. And they said, oh, yeah, they left in a hurry. She drove to California with the kids like they were on a vacation. And she drove off the cliff. Her partner, and all of the kids were in the car. And she just drove off the cliff, killed every one of them. Like, just snapped. Just, bro, I'm
there are so many things wrong with that story that
I don't understand how the state. I don't understand how the state would allow her to continue to adopt kids, because even after she adopted after she adopted the first 2 kids, they had something on her that she whooped her one of her kids, beat one of the kids or something. The kid got with a bad bruise or something, and she went to court for that and got probation, and they let her adopt 4 more.
This is wrong with the system of the country.
Oh my God! And she ended up killing all of them.
Something that we have been talking about for so long. The system in this country is leaving too many loopholes for things to happen. Like, they don't want to fix it. Even though you point out the obvious, they will make excuses. That's what I tell people. At the black community, you have voting power, we have buying power. If the person voting in office is not doing their job, just like when you have a job, you screw up, they could get fired, fire the guy out. Find somebody who will do the job. The problem is people only look at their voting power and get rid of people who not going to do the job properly. In other nations, civilized nations, they're not trying to allow this to happen. They're making sure they nip it at the bud to prevent from happening. Just like gun shooting. I'm not going to talk about gun shooting right now, but I'm just saying, why we allow people to adapt without being properly vetted and not properly evaluated? When I go a background check and make sure their mental capacity is okay, ask the psychiatrist to go through and interview them to see any warning sign whatsoever. I think that's what the problem our nature is having.
Man. It's all about money, brother. I used to work for CPS.
But you got money for the military, so you can have money for that then.
I'm talking about for what
they have money for the military. You can invest money for mental health.
They not gonna do it for CPS. It's all about money, brother.
I want to go back to the kind of the beginning of the question where Black was asking about being able to tell. Like I disagreed. Like you are able to tell a woman's not like a woman's not going to volunteer her body count to you, but what the reason why the body count is important is because of the damage that men have done to her in the past. So if you're not going to judge the body count or get an accurate number for the body count, what you're really trying to judge is that damage that's been done to her. So it's like for me, I ask the question. I'll ask the question knowing the girl's going to lie. I ask maliciously just because to see her reaction to the question, because that's going to make a decision for me right there. Just how she react. I don't like if she asks it back to me. It doesn't matter to me. I'm asking maliciously to find out, like, how does she react to the fact of a man wanting to know what it is about her that where she's failed in, where and how many relationships that she's failed in, or just encounters that she's failed in, where it's like if she's gonna not want to mess with me after that, I'm completely fine with that, because that was a girl that was either too sensitive for the question or not able to be honest with why I would want to know, why it would matter to me. Why it would matter to me to put her in my security and to see if she could be a threat to me as a woman for blaming me for things that other men that she has expectations set for had expectations set for in her life. It's like I'm judging you on your past the same way you're judging me for my future. Like you want someone that's going to take you someplace. They have to know where you've been to see if you're going to be worth being in that future with. If that makes sense. So I don't really like I don't care about the body count too much. I'm gonna answer that. I don't care about the body count too much. But I do need to have like an understanding of what the damage that's been done is, whether it's sexually, whether it's other things as well. But they're not going to volunteer the sexual. So it's like I want the reaction. But go ahead. You said how old am I? 30. I'm 32.
Okay.
Well, can I would like to add something here. There's a professor, there's a YouTuber named Lauren Southern. She videoed a professor from University of Princeton, and she talked about the psychological effect of promiscuous women. Also, there was a study in the University of Washington or the University of Michigan. I apologize, can't remember. And he talked about the male DNA from every man who a woman has slept with, unprotected, and how that affects her mental health. So body count is a real thing. Body count does relate to postpartum, and body count does relate to her emotional and psychological well-being from a scientific standpoint. So you guys can check that out when you have the time.
I'm positive about that. I'll check it out just because, and I've heard certain things like that. But just going off my own experience with women, and even like in the past couple of years, especially in a relationship and then outside of a relationship, it's like certain things that give me a feeling like I don't want to call it similar to intuition, where it's just like I felt something about this, and it seems like I feel like I can almost like count like not count, but quantify or like imagine the damage done just from watching behavior. So I don't need to know the body count because the behavior is going to tell itself anyways. But
that's very true.
I'll ask the question. I'm not afraid to ask any question. And for me, typically it'll be like I'll wait for a girl to ask me something personal too. I won't just come out and be like, I need to know what your body count is. I'm not doing that. I'm waiting to, like, normally for me, like, women will say something like either on a date within or over the phone within 15 to like an hour in, 15 minutes to an hour in. It'll be something like, oh, you probably get all the girls, don't you? Or something like that. Something like that where it leads into a woman like asking me what my history is to some degree, or being insecure about to some degree, or wanting to know to some degree, where I'll bounce it right back at them to be like, well, what's your body count? Or it's that level of conversation. The conversation has to take itself there for me to have it. I don't go ahead and volunteer like I'm trying to find out every woman's body count. I don't care. I can't say I care about that. But if the conversation is leading down that path where a woman is, and women, this is a little bit of game. If you're asking a man specifically, oh, you probably get all the girls. I don't think I get all the girls. But if I get that impression from you about me, then it makes me literally wonder how many guys have said whatever I just said to you, or implied whatever it is I just implied to you, to make you feel like I'm like you want to question, how well it works to me. Like once I hear that question, it triggers me to be like, well, how many dudes have you been with? For you to think that what I'm saying, I say to all women. You feel me?
And you know what? I was just sitting here looking up some of this stuff about this promiscuous stuff or whatever, and I happened to run across the story. And I hope you all are sitting down. I want to share it with you since we're talking about this stuff or whatever. This woman, her name is Lisa Sparks. If you guys want to Google her, research her later. Lisa Sparks in 2004 broke the Guinness World Record book of men slept with. She slept with 919 men in one day. 900.
She got some entertainment, bro.
No, so what that was, it wasn't a full sleep. It was a guys came, stuck it in once, and got out, and it was a whole line. That's what that was.
Oh.
That's
still. I know that one.
That doesn't sound.
I heard
better.
about it.
Yeah.
It don't sound all right. It just sounds sickening.
Adding basic details to that story does not make it any better. It doesn't matter how you try to simplify
it. Doesn't make it any better, but if you're working in Manhattan, in New York City, in Midtown Manhattan, they had no type of store out there. Now most of the store almost gone. They need to broadcast that particular clip of what that woman did, and it is. I'm trying to find a clean word to say. It just.
No. So before you even say that. There was one woman that was 900 some guys. All of them guys are just as responsible.
Right, exactly.
Right. So can I say something to that?
Before you say that, we ain't signing. I'm sitting here reading. She did the video in 2004, right? She got married in 2002, so she was married when she did the video.
Ooh.
The what?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
That's on her. That's on her. I mean, that's their relationship. But I want to say this to the guys: from number 2 to 919, y'all trifling.
Wait, what?
From guy number 2 to number 919, y'all trifling.
Straight up.
This is a conversation I don't know if I be trying to have or not trying to have, because I know I don't judge women that harshly, but I understand, like, biblically speaking, that is the case.
Hazel, I want you to marry me, and I've been with 919 men. Love me.
You
getting the Sparta kick? You getting the Sparta? Like I don't condone.
The way you just put that, bro, that is out, man. Wow, yeah.
All I know, I'll turn from African to Spanish.
Okay, so I want to ask my boy B Ryan. I want to ask Brian Jehovah over here. Brian,
good brother.
You dating a lady and she says, Brian, I love you and I love your kids. I want to be the best thing for you and your babies. But I need you to know that prior to me and you, I got a Guinness Book World Record for sleeping with 919 men in one day, in a 24-hour span. Each guy went 1 minute and 57 seconds.
I heard that mentioned a day.
Do you still want to marry me?
No, I wouldn't even be able to. I would have known before that, though. I do background checks, so I would have known. I would have Googled it. Nah, man.
Brian, you say wait a minute. Brian, you say you doing background checks, man?
Oh yeah. You got to, man. You gotta know who you're dealing with. You know, you gotta make sure the woman that you're dealing with is someone you can trust.
Ooh, Sir Hale.
Brian, but she says, take me as I am and love me for me. It was who I was. It is not who I am.
Well, Brian always had choices all his life, so I'm not a desperate man. You know, ladies, I've always been a ladies' man. You know, so I never have problems getting a woman choosing. You know, women choose me pretty good.
I'm being facetious on this, but there are some women who would say that though. They have done all of that and want somebody to accept that like that. Well, in this case, somebody did. So I can't even. Right. I can't even say much on that one.
I know a cat they'll be with her. I know I got a homeboy like that.
The guy married her 2 years before she got the record. So basically, she said she kissed him and said, "Hey, baby, I'm going to work today."
I had a dude back in Mississippi.
Home and kissed him dead in the mouth.
I had a white man in Mississippi that was gonna pay me $400 to fuck his wife in front of him. I ain't do it because I don't like white women like that. But yeah, dude gonna pay me $400 to fuck his wife. It happened down here too. It was a white woman I met.
That's called being a bull. That's what a bull. That's what the sexual term for that is. Shit. When you have Caucasian men that will find black men like us, and they will pay us to come in and have sex with their wives because they know they can't give it to her like we would possibly give it to her, and he would video it and he will pay you. And some men will pay you thousands of dollars to do it.
Black men Unfiltered.
TLA know about that. TLA know about that.
They do that here too.
What did you say here, sir? I can hear you.
How dare you objectify black men in this manner?
And I'm telling you, that's man. Listen,
they do that here too.
Yeah.
Here's the joke. They say bull, they say Brahma bull. What's the difference?
Niggas, that is gay. I can
now.
You didn't get a joke? They call us bull. We're not Brahma bull, aka The Rock. That's the inside joke.
I think it's like called cuckold.
I will tell y'all what happened afterwards, though.
I'm not playing with you tonight, Brian.
Well, the statute of limitations is over, though.
Look at
we got that 400, though.
Sir Hill had to turn his camera off because he's just not about this foolishness tonight. I mean, my
400 though.
Man, and you know, and like I said, those things are out there, man. People are offering people to do that, and I'm like, what kind of man would want to watch his wife get smashed up? Like, I just,
you'll be amazed, man. Some freaking motherfuckers out here, bro.
But there was a guy who used to run a Christian university that was doing that, who was all over the news, CNN. What that university? Was it Lincoln University? What that Christian university?
Hey,
I'm sure you heard about it.
My sister's watching. She said you guys are talking about this lady with 919 men in one day. She said, but you guys are not talking about Julius Erving. She got the wrong basketball player. It wasn't Julius Erving.
Wilt Chamberlain
slept with 19,000 women.
Master Key.
Same for the woman. If a woman sleep with him, she nasty as hell too.
No, I said Master Key for the man.
Right.
The woman is a shitty lot.
Yeah, that's tough. And you know, I was looking at something. My daughter had something she was doing a sex education class, and a lot of stuff I forgot about. And I was reading her little thing, a little packet thing that they were going over for their class. And it says when a man ejaculates in a woman, the sperm from that one man is in that woman for 4 days. 4 days after ejaculation. So imagine you messing around on your, just say for instance, for shits and giggles, you mess around on your husband and you let this man go in raw, and then you go home and that stuff is in you for 4 more days. Imagine you go in for oral sex or go in for sex period.
Yeah. Man. I just remember the person name. The person name is what is his name again? Jerry Falwell Jr.
Oh boy!
I'm sure you heard of that name. He was the one that run the Liberty University, the Christian University scandal.
Yeah.
And, kicked him out. That's what I'm talking about.
My God.
Your father was a pastor. You're a lawyer. You took over a Christian university, and one of the students was mentioning how you were paying him for that for X amount of years.
Black Men Unfiltered.
Yes.
Check out this. I don't know how to spell it, but microchimerism, right?
Chimerism, like a chimera.
Oh, okay. I found it wasn't Julius Erving.
So
it was Will.
actually enters your organs, like your bloodstream and your organs, your eyes, your brain, stuff like that. So it lasts permanently. But check it out.
Wow. What is it called again?
Microchimerism.
You're writing it down right now, brother. So you know what, man? I want to discuss something that was on. I keep bringing up Sir Hell because his content is amazing. Sir Hell had some amazing content the other day when he was on the show. And Brianna, if she's still watching, she's a huge fan of my platform as well. Oh, she's still there. Yeah. So Brianna, the other day you mentioned something that women give off to their children that prevents them from having sex with their husbands or something to that nature. Like if you could put it in the chat. What was it again, Sir Hell? Do you remember the name of that? What she said?
Yeah, the dopamine that she is released when she gives that from the baby, she gets that. She no longer needs that from her husband.
Right. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but that was amazing. There it is, oxytocin. So she said. So she explained that a woman gives that oxytocin off to her child, and that oxytocin is what creates the want for her man. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. Like I was like.
Say that again.
It's something called oxytocin. Hey, Brianna, you want to come up real quick and explain it?
Oxytocin is a chemical that replicates dopamine, the pleasure senses.
Right.
Yeah, she gets that from the kid, so she get that rush. The fix is done, and she no longer needs her husband to get that fix.
Absolutely.
That's what it was about. Yeah.
Right. And she said, especially when you cuddling with your child. Like, say when you cuddling with your child,
okay.
And she's giving that oxytocin to her child. And then when she lay the baby down, she ain't trying to have sex with
she's not giving it to the child.
Oh, right. Yeah. I learned something new every day, brother. I was amazed. I was on Sir Hell's platform. Y'all got to go watch something. I'm telling you, Sir Hell has some great content, some great people over there at Sir Hell Speaks, man. Y'all got to go check it out, bro. Please go. If you're watching right now, if you haven't subscribed, you crazy as hell.
Go appreciate that, man.
And subscribe right now. He has some great content. And I see we ain't signing you. I got you, bro. Yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna look that up because I'm always interested in that. But anyway, man. So
I was gonna say the chimerism part has to do with, like, if y'all know what a chimera is, it's a mixture of different animals. Like the Sphinx would be a chimera. So it's like that. That's what it's describing, is that you just get to pick up the traits of everything that's got I guess DNA relation to you or genetic relation to you. So that's all.
Yeah, and then Time Magazine did a piece on that. So it says that the woman if you have children with the woman you're with now, every man that she had unprotected sex with, part of their DNA is in your child.
Wow. Okay. I want to ask you something. We ain't signing. I really do. Have you ever heard of Zing? The last name is spelled Jiajia. So it's Zing Jaya or whatever. Have you heard of that? It's in China. That they said it's a
spell it again.
It's Zing. Well, the first one I don't know. I'm pronouncing it right. So Zheng is the first name. And then the last name is Gia. If I'm saying it, if I'm trying to pronounce it right, Jia.
Zhengzha. Yeah. What about it?
Yeah, you know about that?
I gotta hop off, guys. I might be back on in a little bit, but I gotta hop off right now.
Okay, we'll be off in about 5 minutes. Anyway.
You talking about the robot, right? Are you talking about the robot?
Yeah, the guy that created the robot and married it.
But I mean, it's not that popular here. It's more popular, more prevalent in Japan.
Right. Have you seen, Sir Hill and Brian? Have y'all and Black David? Have y'all seen some of these robots they've built that look exactly like human beings? That you like? I saw one. I was like, that can't be a robot.
I've not seen that.
Let me answer that quickly. As a nerd who into IT, technology, and gunpla, Japan has been the forefront of robotics for a very long time.
Yes.
And doing that thing, what they consider called Android, this has been worked on since the early 2000s, which a lot of people have not caught. When I tell you their country is 10 years behind the technical curve, it is. If you live in Japan long enough, I've seen people who talk to me about Japan, they went there and it's like, yo, Japan is not what you think it is. It's completely different. To build robotic android that act and function like a human being, they're almost close to completing that, which is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, 'cause they're the biggest. Think about it. Every electronic we have, if we either made Japan, made in Taiwan, or made in China. Think about it. 95 to almost 98% of all our electronic is made for those three major countries. One last time you see a TV that say made in US, that's a whole different discussion. But them to make Android and almost to perfect the crap, they didn't make supporting robotic limb to help people who can walk, and it's lightweight compared to what America is doing right now. They're far behind. So it's not new for me to hear such a thing, because I do check it every once in a while and see them progressing. They're getting there. And the reason why? They put education to the forefront, very high in that country. That's why when you see stuff like that and I hear about it, I'm like, it's all what you see in Japanese animation, sci-fi. If what you think is never gonna happen, they turn into existence.
Right. Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like with you guys being in that world, like seriously, I know we joke a lot, but man, isn't that scary a little bit to you? Like, I mean, I just saw Elon Musk talk about the thing that he created, where he puts a little thing in the back of the cerebral of your brain or whatever, and you can go climb Mount Everest in your living room. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm not going to allow nobody to do that to me. I mean, we already have enough mental health issues in our community. We don't need no more.
It's not for you. It's for your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah,
right? They understand that. They understand we're not going to do that. It's going to be for your grandchildren and your children.
As a proponent of technology, I think it's fascinating. The issue is we don't have enough science and research in terms of the long-term psychological effect of these things.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's my only contention. We just don't know what that's going to look like. But as a proponent of technology, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sir.
I won't call it fascinating, because as a kid who grew up in science technology, I've been a big fan of science until I grew up in my faith as a Christian. Then I started to realize there's a big divide with my faith concerning science. And look at that certain country that's so much advanced in science that it's ridiculous. Japan is number one on the list, followed by Taiwan and Japan. No, Taiwan and China, sorry. Among the Asian
Whoa, stop. Whoever's listening, we believe in a one country system, China and Taiwan. Guys, if you please don't separate it. That is really, really touchy here. And I like when I'm on the stream, I am monitored. So we believe in a one country policy, whoever's listening.
I understand this the political side about it. I understand that. But what I'm saying, at the whole Asian community, they're so far ahead when it comes to technology, it's ridiculous. Biggest point to talk about, when the first Razor phone came out back in the days, everybody was flashing the Razor phone. I had a European Razor phone, which had a video conference phone. That showed a huge gap in technology. And I did ask myself, why we don't put education here like other countries are doing it? They're reaching bound whereby we can never even reach. What they're trying to do right now, we're trying to do it 10 years later. So I'm not too impressed by it, but this is not the king of robotics. I'm sorry to say that. It's not the case. There's a thing called a mobile suit, the term, whereby it's a huge, I'm trying to get the right word. It's not an android, but it's a term that a humanoid, sorry. It's a huge humanoid that you can actually sit in and you actually control it. It has its own operating system. One guy created that in Japan back in 2008, 2009. Way ahead of the game. Now, in the United States military trying to develop their own, but a one individual who's not in the military created a company and create such a thing. Do you know how far back we are in technology?
Well, so
I was animated as a kid. What do you think in anime they do not in our real life?
I'm saying, to be fair, though, a lot of this stuff is prototype long ago before it's released to consumers. So big businesses will already have these things. And then as it progresses, then there's a consumer version as well. I will say America, though, we're pushing STEM because we're pushing this as well because we're catching up as well. So I will say, like, there are forefront, but I think what we're going to see more than anything is not just this one place doing it. We're going to probably see the connection around the world of people collaborating together to continue to push humanity forward with technology.
Yeah, I want to say this because we're going into the fourth industrial wave.
School also.
Well, I just want to say this because we are going through the fourth wave of industrial revolution, which is automation. America is not behind, actually. When it comes to automation, it's probably here. China is probably number one, and then U.S. is number two. You know, look at Boston Dynamics, right? They probably produce the most practical robotics out of everybody, right? So America's not that far behind. It's just that China is able to integrate automation a bit better than America because here we're communist. The government says we do, no questions, right? Just how it is. So so China is able to integrate automation without job loss, and that is the challenge that the U.S. have because majority of the jobs here are SEO, state-owned SOEs, state-owned enterprises. So China can better manage integration of automation without major hit to job loss, whereas US can't because you have individual corporations. So that is the difference. But for the most part, America and China pretty much neck and neck.
So I think you said that, but the company that have the government contract to do robotic, what are their names? Not Samsung, Honda, and what other name behind that? Am I correct?
No, it's about the integration, right? It's about the integration, right? So like for example, Samsung and Honda, that's South Korea, right? They're far behind, right? But when we're talking about automation and robotics and technology like that, US is right there. The only reason why you don't see wireless pay like you see here or robotic restaurants like you see here is because the integration. Government says do this, do that, and it must be done. You can't do that in the US. It's how fast America can integrate these new technologies into the public. That's the reason why China's a bit more ahead because they can adapt things quite easily because majority of the people in China work for the government.
Right.
Like 80%.
So
80%, something like that.
So let me say this to so we can end the because I want you guys to get to your family. So let me say this. I'm gonna ask this last question. It's gonna be a bizarre question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. I know people don't normally talk about this, but I always think of crazy stuff to talk about. What about this? Do you think with all the technology and everything that we've seen and everything that's going on around the world, I'm just asking a hypothetical question here. Do you really think that the Earth that just sitting here, just on a rotation, on a 24-hour rotation, do you think that we're the only civilization ever or civilization period?
No. What do you mean the only
I don't have enough information.
I mean, do you think it's something? Do you think that because they're finding, I mean, it's billions of planets out there, bro. Do you think there's?
I think it's other life forms, yes. But I'm not educated enough to answer.
Yeah, hey, Sir Hill, I agree with you. I agree. So do you believe do you believe what you're seeing flying around the country on camera? Do you believe that, or you think that's just a figment of people making that?
Are you asking who are you asking?
I believe that's real.
I'm asking Sir Hill right now, and then I'll get to you. We ain't signing.
Do I see what flying around the country?
No, I said, do you see these videos more and more every day are being uploaded of stuff flying around that don't look like we built it? That's just.
Well, like I said, being in the world of technology, I see things that are mind blowing, and I used to be like, no, until like you start to see, and you start to realize that life is much bigger than what we are aware of. So I believe that there are other life forms, and I think there's a lot to the entire universe that we are not really ready to handle.
Right,
that's what I believe.
I believe that too. We ain't signing. What do you think?
This is where I lose all my credibility Right. This is where I lose all my credibility of everything I said. Okay, I believe the Earth is flat. It's not round.
Okay.
Good grief.
And I believe that we live in a. I'm serious. I'm being totally serious. I believe the Earth is flat, not round. I believe we live in a dome. There's nothing like all like the sun, the stars, and all that you see. That's inside the dome. You can't like how can I see the moon that's 26,000 miles away, right? According to whatever they say. Second, there are no photographs of the Earth. There are only digital representations. So I don't believe there's other aliens because we don't even have a universe. When you see a rocket shoot up into outer space, it start the curves and then go straight out. So yeah, so to answer your question, no, there's not any other aliens, and no, there's not even what we call space, Jupiter, and all that other stuff. That space doesn't even exist. And
we ain't signing.
I know that's crazy, but that's where I rest.
Blackman says he wants to host a meeting directly following this broadcast based off of the atrocities of the things you just spoken moments ago.
Okay. I said this is where I lose all my credibility, but I'm dead serious. I believe that the Antarctic shelf houses this continent, but I believe there's other land masses beyond the ice shelf or Antarctica. And that's where I rest.
I look at you a little differently now, man. I look at you just a little bit differently now, man.
I understand.
I'm kidding with you, man.
So, Black David,
this is where I lose my credibility. But hey,
I'm just giving you a hard time, my brother.
Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna say something that's gonna make you forget about him. I saw a video the other day, and my daughter showed it to me. She said, "Daddy, look at this." And there was a guy on TikTok. He said, "What if when we die, the light at the end of the tunnel is a delivery room where your spirit or your body, your soul goes into a baby, and you're crying only because you know that you lost everything. And as you get older, when you have deja vu, those are memories of who you used to be."
I'm going to call my therapist. It's too much.
But anyway, you guys take care. I'm going to head out.
I'm trying to get my voice back.
What time is it there? I'm always interested in that. What time is it there?
It is 1:48 in the afternoon. So
that's amazing.
Saturday.
Well, I appreciate you, Wayne. We getting off, man. We just jibber jabbing right now. I'm gonna let
it's already Christmas. It's already Christmas here, but nobody celebrates it. So.
Oh wow!
Anyway, guys, happy holidays to you guys.
Hey, same thing to you, bro. I'm gonna let Black David go ahead and get his out.
Have a good day, man.
Go ahead, Black David.
I was trying to get my voice back after he would say what he said. The Earth is flat. I was like, okay.
Hey, a lot of people believe that though.
I know, and guess what? It's 1:48. It's 1:48 p.m. over there. So how are they flat and we in 12:49 a.m. over here?
Oh my God!
I can't make this up. I just can't.
Wow! I mean,
when you talk about alien outer space, for a kid watch way too many sci-fi movies growing up. I don't know what to say anymore because
I just,
I don't think we have acquired the level of knowledge to comprehend that yet.
Have you ever seen Cassell?
What is the name of it?
Have you ever seen Sam Cassell, a basketball player?
Yeah,
I heard about him.
We'll Google him real quick. That is your answer to aliens. Google him. That is the answer. That is proof that aliens live among us.
They're not coming back on that.
You want the proof? I just gave it to you.
Back on that one.
I'm gonna pull him up. Oh my God. Oh,
that's a mic drop right
there. I'm never going to forgive you for this. I'm never going to forgive you for this. Oh my God.
Shout out to Sam Cassell.
Oh, that is something else, bro. Let me pull this up, bro. When I show you this picture, because somebody just
That's a mic drop moment right there. That's nothing you can say anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
I need a cup of water for this. I need to drink the water. My mouth is dry.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Ooh. Dude, I haven't laughed this hard in months. Oh my God! Thank you, Sir Hale, for killing me tonight.
I'm trying not to laugh. When I laugh, I get a headache real bad. When I laugh,
oh my God!
I'm fighting it right now. That is so wow.
Oh, sir, you stop it, please. Oh,
you got me sweating and crying over here, man.
Oh my God! What's the guy's name?
I also got jokes. Wow.
What's the guy's name that was that's the basketball player right now, the tallest basketball player in the league? You can make a trust for him. You can make a hold on. Let's see.
Oh no, don't make that one up. I think I know what you were talking about.
Oh my God.
You don't have to jump. You just have to just
I've never seen black men laugh this hard. It is the most wonderful thing I've seen.
Oh my God, bro! I'm not playing with you, bro. I'm dead. I can't even. Here he is. He's 7'5", tallest basketball player in the league. 7'5". I'm gonna show you.
There's no comeback from that one. That's a mic drop moment.
Oh my God. Whew.
Why you think I'm holding my breath? I'm trying to breathe in and breathe out. I'm like,
I can't believe Sir Hill didn't even set me up for that. He could have sent me an inbox or something and said, I'm about to drop you for the night or something. This is so unfair. Oh my God. Here he is. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh.
I know you're that taco. Just the name alone, I was like, who named their child Taco? I was like, oh God.
Sir, I cannot get over.
I saw that earlier today. I saw the name Taco. I'm like,
oh my God.
Taco. I'm like, oh gosh. No.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Shout out to Sam Cassell. I
hope he can come on. You know what? If he did, I would turn my camera and my mic on. I can do it. I say y'all interview him. I cannot. Oh, that is hilarious, man. I would be scared to even defend him. Look at. I got another one. Hold on. I got another one. We're gonna leave. Hey, watch this. Oh my God, B9. Watch this, B9. Oh my God. Look at this.
I need to end the show right now. It's downfall from here.
Sorry, I hate you, bro. Oh my God, bro! I'm gonna be on this for a long time. I'm never gonna forgive you for this.
That one is one thing. The other guy who the taller guy in NBA, his name is Taco. Really?
Taco. Oh my God, bro! I'm sitting up here looking at Sam because this is ridiculous. This is embarrassing. Yeah, he may be related. But man, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on, man. I got the best laugh of the year. That's Sir Hell. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hey guys,
I will keep on breathing to get my breath back.
I'm trying to get myself back together. I damn near fell out of the chair. Black David, thank you for coming on. I'm waiting on you to get your what do you say, split screen Sam Cassell and Smeagol from the Lord of the Rings. I'm not. Have you ever seen Smeagol, Sir Hill?
I have.
Oh, dude.
I have the Lord of the Rings collector set, so don't.
Oh my God! And my wife argues me down. She says that Lord of the Rings. No, she said Harry Potter is a better series than Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, that's hard.
Nope. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's hard.
I had the director cut a Lord of the Rings with extra scene. And I learned one thing about Lord of the Rings: all the lady loves Smeagol. I don't know what it is.
Right.
The second movie came out, everyone's like, "Oh, precious." And since then, the phrase say, "Are you gonna treat me like precious?" I'm like, "Are you serious?"
So have you watched all the Hobbit spinoffs?
Yes.
You know what? I'm watching Hobbit tonight.
Oh,
Hobbit is pretty good as well.
So, how was Matrix? You said it was trash.
The Matrix, Lord of the Rings.
What made it trash?
You know what? You got to see it. It's just it's a letdown. It just is.
I'm a movie junkie. I'm a movie critic, but The Matrix was trash after the second installment. Lord of the Rings.
That one was okay. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I could watch that. I could watch it over and over again.
Exactly.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
My former church borrowed my collector set to watch the whole director cut Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3 for 3 Sundays straight. I'm talking about almost 3 hours plus of screening. And
the Hobbit spinoffs are amazing as well.
Yeah, they are.
You can't go wrong with any of them. Now Harry Potter, it's okay, but I disagree with my wife on that one.
It's entertaining. It really is entertaining. It really is. It's just, I don't know, the storyline, the whole visuals, it's just better with Lord of the Rings. It's just better. It just is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The book Lord of the Rings, it is massively thick to read.
Right.
It's bigger than the Bible. And I told myself, if I'm going to read that book, I need 3 months of vacation alone.
Right.
The man created a whole new language. And the movie is about only 60% of the book.
Wow.
That shows you the high level of creativity from that guy alone.
So let me I'm gonna blow you guys' minds before you leave. Did you see the lady that sued Universal Studios for stealing her idea for The Matrix and for the Terminator?
I heard about it.
Okay, she's a black lady. Hold on a second. I'm gonna give you her name so y'all can look her up. And she told the origin of what it was supposed to be like before they stole it from her. But they paid her, I think, $400 million in the settlement, $500 million, some crazy. Woo! Let's see. Her name, black author, Sophia Stewart. Right? She said she wrote it, but she said the Terminator and the Matrix were supposed to be together. She said Sarah Connor is Neo's mother. She said that's how she originally wrote it. And she said they took it from her. I don't know how they end up getting it, but she said they took it. They looked at, she said the studio looked at her work and said, oh, yeah, we won't be able to work with this. And they kept the copy of her work. And then 12 years down the line, there's Terminator. 12 more years down the line, there's Matrix. And she's like, whoa, wait a minute. Those are my stories. What are you, whoa? And she ended up suing them, took years. But I think they gave her $500 million or something. And plus she gets the royalties from each one of the movies.
Wow.
And you wonder why I say they steal from black creativity.
Yep, exactly. But can you...
From our music, from our movie, from our TV show, Living Single.
Was Friends. Hey, but I will say this. I just put this in your head before we leave. Can you imagine Sarah Connor killing all the Terminators? And then Sarah Connor gives birth to Neo. And then Neo becomes who he is. Like, are you serious right now?
As a sci-fi guy, I will have to think on it for the next 2 days.
Man, she said if she had her way and they would have let her really do the movie her way, Terminator would have been 3 Terminator movies. Then it would have been Sarah Connor having Neo, and then Neo being trapped into the world, and he takes the pill and becomes the Neo that he is in the Matrix. That would have been awesome. Oh my God. But anyway, guys, I'm a big movie guy, so you probably could tell. But anyway, I'm a big movie guy. I love to sit down and watch a good movie. But Sir Hale, I appreciate you, man. Merry Christmas to you and your lovely wife and your lovely children, man. Love you,
appreciate
brother.
You, my brother.
Guys, before we leave, this is my brother, guys. I'm telling you, my extended family, my brother from another mother. And I want you guys to pay attention to this. I know you guys come and support me, and I know you guys go support him. But I want to thank you first, Black David, before I give my roses to Sir Hale. You on all of our platforms supporting us, coming in, bro. I want to tell you that I love you, man. And your lovely kids in the background, they keep peeking their head around the corner. It is hilarious over there. I love it. And so I love you, man. Thank you for coming in and continue to come in and support, man. I love to have you every time you come through. So I appreciate you.
I try to be as genuine as possible because I like to keep it. I don't want to fake the funk. So
right, I appreciate
You're a good brother. You're a good brother.
Good brother. But back to Sir Hell, he has his own channel. Guys, go to Sir Hell Speaks and listen to what he's putting out right now. The man is putting in the work, and he needs you guys to support him like you support me. Go over there and subscribe to his page. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Make sure you like those videos because he has a goal. I have a goal, and we're in this thing together. And so I want you guys to go support him immediately. He just had a couple of shows that is mind-blowing. And so you guys got to go watch. I'm not going to tell you nothing because you got to go watch it yourself. Sir Hell Speaks.
Appreciate that, big bro. Appreciate that.
Not a problem at all, man. I love you guys. Love you guys to death. Merry Christmas, brothers. Merry Christmas, and enjoy your day. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Whoop whoop.
Just make sure before you leave, keep Sam Cassell on your mind. Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hey, the other day you had me laughing on one of your shows where you said, oh my, if Black Man Unfiltered was here, you say, oh my God.
Yep. Man, I wish he was on that scene so bad, man.
Man, it was, man, that show. I'm telling guys, look at me. Guys, let me put Sir Hell. I want you to give your information. I want you to do it like you know how to do it. Come on, here we go. Let me do this. Go ahead. Adjust your glasses. There you go. Fix the watch a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would be more than honored for you guys to go to be a part of my page, the Sir Hell Speaks. We've turned it into the Sir Hell Network, where we connect with other content creators to do great collaborations, great things to provide a level of entertainment and empowerment. If you can't take a minute, go to my page, Sir Hell Speaks, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for all of my latest content. We've got a lot to come. And as a matter of fact, I've got an interview with Black Men Unfiltered coming up in the very near future. Lots of collaborations, lots of good things. I hope to be a part of your journey as well as your part of mine. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas.
Sir Hell Speaks in the building.
Sir Hell Speaks in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I appreciate you so much, bro. So, again, go to his page. What day? Tell him what days you're going to be on. What's your next project? What you're going to have on live next?
Yes, so tomorrow night, got a show. I got pretty much a show almost every day.
Okay, good. What's the times? Yep. What time should they be looking out for you?
Yes, so I'm going to end up, so I upload videos probably every morning around 7 o'clock, live shows 10:30 a.m., and then a live show at 8 p.m. So you'll see them around there almost every day.
All right, and if you guys, and the best way to do it, go to your notifications and turn on the notifications. So whenever he uploads a video or goes live, you will get it immediately, right? So do it from my page too. Go to the notifications, turn those notifications on. So when we go live, you're right in here with us, all right? Sir Hell, love you, man. Black David, love you, man. Enjoy your family. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace.